Take care.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. I see, you know what, no one cares about Reddit. That's how it's going to be. There's two bangers on Amazon and Apple. Reddit's a big deal, everybody. I think that's, no, I'm just playing. No, of course the market cares more about Amazon and Apple than it does Reddit. But Reddit's a big one after market. You got Riot, you got Big Bear AI, Roku, Airbnb, VRB, is it Verbo? I guess you're supposed to say Verbo.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's pretty, yeah, they're getting pretty popular, man. I think it's, Verbo's starting to take a little bit of a business there. But Airbnb after the bell, it's going to be a busy one, of course. It'll be a banger of an aftermarket show like it always is. I can tell you, I mean, with the futures, maybe they'll get out of this range. But my goodness, Tesla. Like, what happened to squeezing through 300?
Up and down. Huh?
Like, seriously. Like, it's just, what are we calling this? The yo-yo action in the markets right now? Where, like, the amount of times that you're reverting moves, it's like, oh, we'll dump into the open and then we'll fly higher and Tesla goes $10 up and then it's like break down. Then I'm thinking, oh yeah, bull flag it. Let's just go long up at the top. Thankfully got out of that one at the high. We're buying some of these highs and all of a sudden Tesla's under VWAP and threatening to go red. So go figure. And this is all while the NASDAQ's above VWAP and up 1.7%. It's been that kind of a market. We were dragged up by obviously good earnings from Microsoft and Meta. Yet here we are, kind of languishing, diddling in the middle for a lot of these names. And I'll just quickly show you Meta before we throw over, because I'm going to guess, and Tesla's probably going to be on the list of names that you guys want us to trade, but Meta, it's hard to get going when Meta can't get going, unfortunately. You know, it's the great gap up, and holding the lows is about the only good thing that Meta's done today, outside of bringing us to where we are with great numbers. But what have you done for me lately, Meta?
Yeah, some of these names today, I mean, we were, I'm not sure what was Meta, do you remember what Meta's expected move was? I know Microsoft was only 4.5. Yeah, so the idea that I was trying to get at anyways was just that, you know, sometimes when you don't really hit this is Palantir, by the way, like I got stopped out right, like I averaged in right into VWAP and got stopped out there. So my day's red based on Palantir alone today, so I'm a little peed off about that one. But no, what I was getting at was with Meta, I could check yesterday's implied move, I guess. But it's actually going to be, I think it was a lot more than this. Hold on a second. Let me just find my own Twitter account.
Like
I know
7.
Adara already had this, but I posted it last night as well. Okay, so, this was yesterday. Okay, this was yesterday.
Right
no, that was, here I am at the Blue Jays game. There's Tim, by the way.
What up, Tim? Tim's
my other cousin Owen right there as well. And here I am. I tried to, we got the Kirk bobblehead, and I tried to yell at the Boston guys here, but they weren't really, I was like, boo Boston, and then, you know, I got some notes from my Boston friends there saying, don't do that, but it didn't have any effect.
Keep fine with that.
Hood, Meta, there's 7.4, so there it is, Microsoft 4.6, Meta 7.4. So, you know, right now, when you're looking at Meta, you're at 5% or so. So again, like, just maybe a little disappointing where we've been today with Meta. I mean, it started off a great morning up into 600. I mean, we got to 595. Come on, futures, just do something. Like, I don't want to just sit here. Okay, there's Bitcoin. But yeah, just a little disappointing there for Meta. Falling down a little bit, holding the 200 period short side, right? So you're underneath VWAP, and I think Microsoft has spent most of the day above it, below it as well, VWAP. So all of these names, and that's why, I mean, we sort of were talking about the market and why it's only up that 1.7% or so when we started off a little bit better. A lot of these names started above VWAP. We even talked about Robinhood. I was surprised with Joe said that it came all the way back in when I came back from getting this coffee there. I went for a little bit of a walk. But 434 right there for Microsoft. Again, you know, good great reports. But it's just underneath VWAP. The market really is having a hard time getting going, which is why, you know, I wanted to show everybody. I'm still short the TQs right here. So I started going short here when I thought we were breaking lower. I think I have there must be a green tick there because we haven't done all of this, but now we just got short again underneath, and I'm just waiting to see if we break through 58. I mean, we came close enough to doing that last time, and if we do, then we're going to get stopped out. But I was just feeling like if both of these names are underneath, the futures are still over. And again, it's not a Mag 7 world. It's just when you're trading the NASDAQ, those are the names you want to look at. So here we come right back upside again with the TQs. We're still short at 87, but definitely in question right now for this position. Joe was like, hey, man, maybe Sean wants to know about Big Bear AI. I don't. It's down. right here, right
earnings
now.
is
So
what's
yeah, earnings tonight. No, for sure. But it did have a nice move. So it was down and then back up. No, I actually bought some yesterday right at this price, 340. So you can see it was trading there all afternoon. So we'll see what happens with Big Bear AI there tonight. And then Palantir's been off to the races as well. Our Uber's not really doing anything. I mean, it's been a good day for crypto. I mean, I can see what happened there. IBIT.
Yeah, but IBIT turned.
Did it?
Yeah.
Still up 3%.
Oh, it's back over VWAP.
Oh man, I want to get more short here on the futures, but I don't know if it's going to be right. But anyways, yeah, IBIT 97,000, good level here for crypto for sure. Looks like we have a couple double tops there before.
We didn't get to 100.
It did fall back in, as per Neil's point.
I thought we'd get to 100 by the weekend, but
I would have made that bet. Joe and Sharif were doing that, and they said I think next Friday. I think they were discussing, but
it felt like we were going to get there by the weekend, or at least on the weekend. Maybe that's a better way to put it, because I always feel like maybe you don't get there by like Friday, but then on Saturday, well, you probably Sunday usually, you get that little bit of a press, because we did the hard part is breaking through the big resistance, and then breaking through like this 95 resistance spot, like that's happened. It's just a continuation was lacking. I might still like IBIT. I'm out of the IBIT long, and yeah, I got out of it before VWAP, and now it's trying to hold VWAP. I guess I got out of it break even the last time. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe I want to be long this one if we can hold on to the volume weighted average price here. It's holding up relatively well. The market's trying to go higher. I'm all short right now, but I don't count WW. That doesn't move with the market. And the other ones are VWAP shorts. Like, it's just only things I'm in, Intel. Look at the pattern. It's just hugging VWAP, so we're in it. And then Mara, when Bitcoin broke down, it broke down and then held VWAP as well. So it's like the usual market looked like it was trending down, it's pressing higher, and things are holding under VWAP. I like those short, but IBIT's actually the other direction, which is tricky because you should never want to be Mara short, IBIT long. But it feels like IBIT is a long. Now let's go over to Sharif, see what you guys want to talk about.
Welcome everyone to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about. Bless you, Neil. Every afternoon, the big boys, they're ready to go. They're locked and loaded and ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to be a subscriber to vote and engage with us in the chat. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at all four major averages with the NQ faring the best of the bunch. No surprise there after Meta and Microsoft demolished earnings yesterday in the aftermarket, up nicely here. Almost 2%, boys, is the NQ, about $485, just shy of that. Not to be left out over here, the SPY also up 1 1/3. Good look for the ES and the S&P 500. The Russell 2000 faring the worst of the four major averages, but still green on the day, up 3/4. And the Dow just dropped below the percentage on the Russell. It's also up 0.7%. Good look for all four major averages. Here is the first ticker as decided by you. Meta reported earnings yesterday. It was an EPS and revenue beat on the top and bottom line, as well as the guide, guys. The only kind of note that was a little bit negative was the ad sales coming out of Asia as a result of the closure tomorrow, that is, of the de minimis loophole, which allows exports or imports, into the United States under $880 to go tariff-free. That ends tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was some talk, obviously, pulling back from advertising in the lead up to that, which makes obvious sense. But you know what? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if we finish like this, Meta's up 5%. Last night, bangers. Everyone was watching how Meta was dragging everybody up, and Microsoft was even better. And there was a lot of euphoria when you were doing the aftermarket show to the gains we had. However, now we're sitting at what doesn't look like a very appetizing result. If we were to close here, you essentially went right into the prior resistance, wicked the top, and in theory, right now, you've lost the prior resistance from Liberation high, and the 50 period, and then potentially the 200 period, all in one shot if we close here on Meta. Underneath 570, it's like 578, call it 579. So yeah, I think this is the rally that's happening right now has something at stake for how you perceive it. For all the people that are technicians out there and looking to see how we close, well, a close solidly above 580 would mean a heck of a lot on Meta here today. And if it doesn't, I don't like that topping tail candle at all. And I think there's going to be some people looking some continuation shorts. All in all, just an absolutely unbelievable quarter, top and bottom. You can't complain about it for Meta. But its price action hasn't been kind. There's no real other way to put it. Obviously, it dragged Amazon up with it. We'll see what their numbers are tonight. I think the strength in Meta does bode well for Amazon tonight, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my stops in here. 58.20 break on TQs, and we're going to be gone on that one. We'll lose that 30 cents or so on it, so that sucks. Yeah, so no, Meta looks like it wants to go now, which is no surprise. I mean, look at the futures, of course. I choose to go short, and you could see, yeah, right there, not really working out on the NASDAQ, but Meta is, and we talked about this just before we went on air here. Oh, look, we just have the names now. We don't have like Meta, or yeah,
Boo.
or Softy, so soft. No, so it looks like it wants to go, right? I mean, again, you like the quarter. I think that we had a good push through. So why is that still IBIT on the bottom? There you go. We had a good push through on Google's read a couple, was it last Tuesday or Wednesday? And that sort of bumped up Meta here, boom, a little bit of a gap up there for Meta. Now you're seeing some follow through, right? And it's nice to get back to the 200 period moving average. And as I keep saying over and over again, it's like, it's nice that we're back to some of these levels. Now I had sort of thought, and this is what I talked about today at 8:30, was that there could be some sell situations today. And I think that's what happened. It's not happening now, as you can see, I'm sure, but I was just thinking like everyone that was nervous about the stock market and the fact that a lot of these holdings have gone against them, a lot of people questioning life decisions with holding just Meg 7 names, especially myself, or being so related or so heavily invested into the NASDAQ. These are good opportunities over the last little while to get out, right? So Meta coming up here, it's not really too much of a surprise that we're fading off of 6 bills. So for me, I don't think it's a long until we get over 600 bucks. So that's just day trading, a different story. But if you're going to be swing trading and all of that, you're right here at a level that we've seen epic collapses off of. But again, it's had nothing to do with Meta specifically. It has to do with what we're talking globally in macro, right? So as Meta's fallen the last 3 times, or I get this is the 3rd time, but the last 2 times it's been here, I just think that could have applied some pressure. Just how the chart looks, right? We have traders like Michael Noss or the gentleman we had today, Chris, and so on and so forth, Steve Talman, who we have tonight, that are all making decisions, nothing to do with macro anything. They just look at the charts. So if I'm looking at that Meta chart, it does look like it's a sell situation. So for me, no surprise there. I would let it get above 6 bills. And if it does, then obviously we're going to also have good news in the market, I would assume. So yeah, I think it's a definite long, but you got to get above 600 bucks. And that could happen any minute now, today, tomorrow, whenever. But I like the stock. Now that you've got a good report underneath it, it's all systems go. You just got to make and clear its past resistance. Nikhil, I do see your super chat. Amazon and Airbnb earnings reaction, long or short? Well, they don't have earnings yet, so I don't have a reaction yet. But I'll talk about them when we go. Let's just get through this list, and then I'll bookmark that, Nikhil, and we'll talk about Amazon and Airbnb. We'll get Neil's opinion. We'll get all of our ideas on where those stocks might go. But again, it would just be an opinion. We can look at the charts together and judge this. All we really do is react to whatever the earnings are. I mean, Tesla, if I told you Tesla's numbers the day before they released them, you would be going short.
Exactly.
That, you
wouldn't have bought that.
You wouldn't have thought that it would retrace back up to 6-month highs or whatever it is.
No. SoFi is a good example as well. Like if you said, if you looked at the numbers from SoFi, you wouldn't have guessed that it would have rugged everybody for 2 days. Or maybe you would because it's SoFi, but you know what we're getting at here. So it's just we'll go through all of it, including Mr. Softy.
Great report here, Neil, for Mr. Softy. A fantastic one. Still up 9%, guys. That's a big move for the second biggest company in the world by market cap. So their EPS, 346, easily beating that 322 the street was expecting on revenue of 70.07 billion. Again, handily beating the estimate of 68.43. The guide was also fantastic, guys. And only in Microsoft would $20 billion of ad revenue be overlooked. But that's exactly what they printed.
Well, it's because they make so much money elsewhere. You know, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Like you're doing something right if people are overlooking 20 billion in revenue anywhere. But they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot right, and I don't think necessarily they've gotten enough credit. Certainly, I know by myself. I have not been speaking too kindly about Microsoft when we're in the bull market. But then the good news was because it wasn't rallying as much the last couple of years, its pullback was relatively muted compared to the Mag 7. And unlike Meta, and we'll see what happens tonight with Amazon, I kind of feel like Apple's in its own bucket. It's just how I feel about those, kind of like those four. 5 if you include Google. But Microsoft has pretty much no chance of losing the 200-period moving average anytime soon. Like right now, it feels a little bit more resilient. It's a little bit more resilient when it comes to the tariffs. I think that's part of the reason why it could hold this 200-period moving average. The 420 is going to be big for the next couple of days. We're nowhere near it. It's 9% up, and yes, it hasn't been doing anything, but you can't complain about this. It's a consolidation well above the breakout last night, and unlike Meta, which had made some fresh lows, it's holding that bottom really well and so far away from that top that we saw last night at 420. So I'm pretty happy with Microsoft and constructive on it. I haven't bought Microsoft in forever, and I'm certainly not selling any. I shouldn't say forever, but I think my last buy of Microsoft was pre-COVID. I would be willing to bet it was pre-COVID. But yeah, it's doing incredibly well. I think of these, the chart is looking the best. Just one note, because when the market was going up there, I'm like, I don't think this will last forever, but for now, you're coming into the opening range higher low on Mara, and it's kind of going downside off of VWAP while the market's going higher, a trend that I don't know will continue forever. So I'm now only in the last 10% of it. If it goes back up, maybe we reload. But I like where Microsoft is at. I think that's looking about as good of a chart in the Mag 7 as you are going to see. Maybe the best for now.
Right now, we do want to bring attention to, again, if you do scan that QR code, you're going to find out a lot of information about VinFast, but I'm going to tell you a little bit here right now. VinFast closed 2024 with strong financial and operational performance, and we've seen sort of here that some of these EV names have started to get back to the upside. So definitely check it out. It's made big progress on its global EV journey, with Q4 revenue reaching $678 million, up 70%. There's a number we like, year over year, and 34% quarter over quarter, reflecting robust demand and improving sales execution. They have over 97,000 EVs delivered in 2024, including 53,000 in just this last quarter alone, over 192% increase. Progress on their global expansion shows over 322 EV showrooms with e-scooters as well, now operational worldwide as of March of 2025, VinFast owned and dealer operated locations. They're also focusing on green mobility ecosystem, which has a continued development of V-Green charging infrastructure and growth of their GSM electric ride hailing services. We sort of talked about that. I think that's a key aspect there as well. In key Asian markets to drive long-term EV adoption. So, pretty cool car. Sharif's talked about them. I've seen them on the road. I think we all have, and it's a good-looking car there. So check out VinFast. Again, these EVs are something to watch out for. And I'll just do a live look at their chart here. I haven't looked at it in a minute. Yeah, so 350. So it's gone 250 to 350. Not too much volume on this name, but look at that bounce back right there off of that strong. We just talked about their strong Q4 numbers, right? So there goes VinFast, a nice move to the upside. Let's see where we can go. And it just looks like this, like many stocks, where you can go back and find a good base and then watch it run. So we'll wait to see what happens here with VinFast, but we want to thank them again for sponsoring this part of the show. So, all right. Hey, look, man, Palantir's sponsored, my daughter's hockey and a lot of different things over the last little while. But I guess I got to sell some of those shares to realize said profits. But let's go find the story today with Palantir. Did you want to say something?
Well, you could sell covered calls.
Well, yeah, but then I get called away. I mean, I just don't know if it's going. I don't know where it's going.
Well, anyways.
There are some different
I was
ideas.
thinking out loud because it's like maybe because if
it's a
people
good
think
idea.
it'll break the all-time high, we'll get into Palantir, but if it breaks the all-time high and people think it might do that, if it gets called away, then you're taking profit.
Yeah, it's not
if
the
it
end of the
doesn't,
world,
you generate a little bit of income. But let's go talk about the P to the L. It's actually green.
Selling pints of blood instead.
Pints of blood.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was on. All right, guys, Palantir up 0.14, essentially flat on the day, but as you saw, what a hell of a day, a hell of a recovery yesterday for Palantir, going red to green. Guys, there's really nothing going on. Cathie Wood sold a little bit ahead of earnings. Dan Ives reiterating his position that this is one of the firms, his firms that is, Wedbush, biggest and most, high conviction positions. By the way, Monday, guys, Palantir reports 55%, Sean, year to date. You're ahead in the competition for a reason, my man.
I think it's killing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what? You're the one that said I was ahead. I'm not the one doing these graphics.
Well, I thought Joe picked Bitcoin, though.
Who knows?
Oh, it was Tesla. My bad. I was wondering, I'm like, no, because if you
guys,
pick Bitcoin, you're fine. But no.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, like you guys ask me for picks, I give them to you. I'm up 55% in 3 months. It is what it is. But right now, Palantir, and I have no idea. Like I said, I made Palantir my first pick immediately, and I like the stock, but today I do not. So we were too many executions today, just did not get a good read. We were long again, stopped out, long at the bottom. That was pretty awesome. Then we tried the long again there, which at basically the same levels. Once it broke that bottom right there, that's where we stopped out, only to find out that it was the bottom again. So then I shorted into here, into VWAP, and then it broke, and then it went downside. So like wrong there, wrong here. So we were fine early with it. That stop out is on very small shares. We were long, and then we I wasn't even here, so we were out, and that's fine. I put the stop there at that bottom, but we had captured profit. That wasn't the problem. The real problem just remains going short right here. I think we got a little bit too carried away. The market was kind of doing this, and Palantir was doing this. So we just got stopped out minutes. I think it was back into here, right? 1 o'clock or so. So there's the stop out at 110. And then it just coincides with what this market was doing. You see that fell back in. So of course, as soon as I get stopped out right there, about 20 cents, about 10 cents away from the high on probably boatload of shares, and then it drops right back down. So my day could be wildly different if some of these levels actually held for once. But that's Palantir, a little bit of a violent day. But I mean, really, Neil's idea of selling covered calls is probably a decent idea because you've had such a monster move up. You probably would get a lot on the price of the volatility alone for writing right now. So anyways, nice move up there for Palantir, back up to all-time highs. Now that I realize, thanks to Sharif for reminding me, maybe we do get something out. And I'll wait to see maybe tomorrow, see what this market does. But ahead of earnings, I don't think that's ever a bad idea. They just turned positive, I think, five quarters ago. And then that got them into the NASDAQ, into the S&P, and so on and so forth. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening here with Palantir. It's been a good run since they switched over to the NASDAQ.
Yeah, a great run. Because actually that bottom, the NASDAQ, because you said it. And we know very well because our charts only plotted from when it was the NASDAQ.
Right.
So it's literally the move over to the NASDAQ is the low. It's held at 63, 64 multiple times. My head's in the way of the first one, but trust me, it's there. Believe me. There was a good question. All I have to add, because you already said, I kind of think it would make sense. You have to want to do it and be okay with having them called away if you go like 125 or like 130 or something. You have to be okay with that if you do it. 120, I just wrote on my iPad, and I wrote to myself, don't delete it, because I go through the list of stocks and the levels, and I'll delete the ones from the day before if I don't think they matter. But I'm going to keep that in there. But there was a question, and someone asked when you guys get stopped out of those market orders. So the stop order that I use, and I think you use it too most of the time, it sends like a marketable limit order. So like if I had a stop on, let's say, whatever, you just go to somewhere where you do. Like if I have a stop here, which I should move to 77, let's just say on WW, it doesn't send a market order if it breaks 77. What it'll do is it'll cross, I forget the exact percentage, but it'll send a very, very, very aggressive limit order. usually a couple of percent. That's for sure going to get filled, but it's not technically a market order, but it's effectively going to act like one, a very aggressive marketable limit order. So you're going to get filled on those. Like, I don't think I've had a situation where one of those stops has not filled. It happened one time, I believe, and actually, no, it's never happened. That new order, it's never happened that it's missed. It was a different type of stop order that I used. It didn't cross as aggressively, but they're not technically market orders.
This is funny. Vanilla Man in America. Pints of Blood. Is there a big vampire coven in Toronto? Potentially.
Vampire.
Potentially. Talked about Pints of Blood, yeah, so that would be a lot.
I want to see this Nosferatu, which just hit Amazon Prime.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a vampire movie.
Oh, okay. Pretty cool. Remember, Righteous Gemstones is really the only thing you guys need to be watching, in my opinion.
I'm on White Lotus right now.
Oh, yeah, White Lotus. Okay, yeah, you're already on White Lotus. That's a good one. Okay, Sharif, have you seen White Lotus yet? Oh, yeah, you don't watch TV, my bad. All right, Roblox, let's go.
Yeah, rarely, Sean. All right, guys, Roblox, good look today, up 2.2%, but giving back a lot of the highs that it had there in the early trading session. Guys, they lost 32 cents a share on revenue of 1.21 billion, but that was well ahead of expectations, both on EPS and revenue. The street was looking for 40-cent loss per share on revenue of 1.14 billion. Not a bad look as their daily active users, boys, continues to grow.
Lucky because I've been able to watch in real time Roblox and just the, I guess, growth of the platform and everything like that. And I mean, my kids have been on this from time and it's been a good play. We still have a little bit of these shares. Daily active users going higher, that's all that really matters, right? I mean, the more kids that play it, the more that they'll look for, they'll want Robux and all these things to buy these stupid little outfits or do whatever that's required in the different games. And then they also, like, my son built a game and then he started receiving Robux because people were actually playing it. And he hasn't done anything since then, but I think he got like maybe 20 bucks worth of stuff. I don't know what it was. Just required too much time. But these games are now being like farmed out or built out by like tons and tons of engineers and developers and all that, basically just like a Take-Two, and all these big games now are coming through on Roblox. So again, I like the fact that it doesn't take too much computing power. I like the fact that you can do it on your iPad and all that. And look, I'm not trying to say that we need our kids to be in front of screens all the time, but it is a fact that that is what happens. You know, my daughter, whatever, she's more active than maybe any kid you know, but when she hops on her phone or her iPad or whatever, she actually doesn't have a PC. That's my boy, but you will, you know, you'll find them, you know, probably on some sort of a Roblox situation. And I think that that's true. I mean, if you guys have cousins, nephews, whatever, go find out. Grandkids, you know, they definitely know about Roblox and have definitely put some eyeballs on that. So again, I like what it means, and good quarter, huge dump off the open, of course. Hard to, you know, think about that, but where it stopped is yesterday's close. So that's always something to look out for earnings plays. So something to think about next time it gets down to that level, which is 67 bucks.
And that's close prices matter more than opening prices. You'll hear us say it over and over again. Look, I did like Roblox. When we messaged out this morning, I did like it off that 52-week high because I thought it was a big level. The problem is you see the wick up there, it's like, oh, you could have had it short. But like that top, first of all, like that's the 8 a.m. wick that got to 74. And then at about 8:30, like right as we're coming on air, that's the high. And it's like $1 away from the 74, let alone that 76 level. So it never really got up there at all. I think you got to give it a couple of days. It's a little bit pricey. It's not like they made money yet, but you know, by the time they make money, you're done. It'll be triple digits at that point. So it's not like you can't wait forever, but you certainly need to have this one settle down. No question about it. It's not doing anything this afternoon. Like, I don't see a trade unless you get a chance at maybe a 70 breakout, because look at the brick wall at 70, or a chance to fade off of 70. If it doesn't get to that level, I don't see a trade on it this afternoon. But hopefully there's something in IBIT, because Bitcoin, which is up next, has been a good one.
Yeah, I like Bitcoin. Brief?
Bitcoin, guys, dropping off a little bit off the highs, 96 and change right now, off the highs of the 97 and change that we had earlier on. There's a look at the BTC chart making lower lows and lower highs. That's a 5-minute, by the way. There's IBIT still positive, over 2.5%, trading at around 54.88. There was this headline, guys, obviously not market moving, but just to give you an idea about the sentiment or the negative sentiment that still exists for BTC. El Salvador committed to continuing to buy Bitcoin. President Nayib Bukele saying despite the IMF telling him that in order to receive that $1.4 billion economic stimulus that his country is set to receive, he's got to slow down his Bitcoin buying spree. He's absolutely refused to do that, but it just gives you an idea that there is still institutional resistance to Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, that's their problem. Like, I can't, look, man, I can't necessarily sit here and be like, I'm not Michael Saylor. No chance. I don't have that type of conviction in it. But, you know, when you look at it recently, you cannot remotely be complaining about the price action. It's been relatively strong to the market so many, whoops, I went too far at the time. So many times. The issue I have right now is we came into this top. I'm going to show it on actual Bitcoin at 55.5. It's great. Prior highs held, so the dip buys have been good on Bitcoin, but when you go on over, we're not blowing out this breakout that just happened. Like, I'm used to, like, what I was expecting to happen today after all the strength that I thought was going to be in the market is you'd break a resistance and we'd have like a strong move. Well, we broke this resistance, got past 96, and then nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. So there was just not enough follow through on Bitcoin. It's now underneath, it's underneath the volume weighted average price. Because I felt like when we pulled back and didn't get to VWAP, I'm like, we're breaking this high and we're gonzo. So I'm actually not happy with myself because I had a break even stop. We were talking about this in the lesson of the day. Like, sometimes if I wasn't as bullish, maybe I wouldn't still be holding on to like 20, 30%. When it's on the way back in, you see a double top, you should be more aggressive getting out and respecting the resistance. But I was pretty bullish on Bitcoin today, so I didn't. You know, until I lose there, and then I lose there, and then the 1 for 3. I should be green going 1 for 3, but I'm not because I was holding out for too much of a breakout at the top. Now we're short Mara because if Bitcoin's under VWAP, as far as I'm concerned, the miners are always worse. So I want to be short as long as Bitcoin is under VWAP. I'm short Mara under the volume weighted average price. Ozan, you won't expect a test of the resistance as support for the next leg up. Oh, yeah, well, no, in a general sense, like I usually do expect us to retest the resistance, but I kind of thought we would have a stronger day today and then maybe retest it a little bit later. I didn't think we'd be retesting that like now, this afternoon, tomorrow. I thought we'd have a bigger press today and then you could retest that prior high.
Yeah, let's see what winds up happening. I think 100,000 is it's imminent, right? I mean, whether or not it happens on the weekend or next week or something like that, it's going to get back up there. I just want to read one headline here because in case there are some people out there with trading energy, we know there's some energy traders out there. Donald J. Trump posts on Truth Social, all purchases of Iranian oil or petrochemical products must stop now. Any country or person who buys any amount of oil, so I have the oil chart up. If you want to put that, just my screen would be good enough. Any country or person. So if you're a person that buys oil, who buys any amount of oil, so do not buy any oil whatsoever, Neil or Shreve or anybody, or petrochemicals from Iran will be subject to immediately secondary sanctions. They will not be allowed to do business with the United States of America in any way, shape, or form. So that was as of 2/27 is what I'm seeing right there. So you're going to see right here with oil, there was a little bit of a spike right there in light crude oil from US, right? So there's the nice little spike up there. So people, I guess, taking that to heart, and you know, if you do buy any oil from Iran and he finds out about it, then that is that. And this is what it looks like here on the NYMEX. So over here at Real Trading, we do have the ability to trade many different markets, and this is just one of them, the CL contract right there on NYMEX. And you could trade that. This is the June contract. just doing the most amount of volume, 310,000 contracts so far, when the July contract is only like 110,000. So we're still trading this. This is a much better look on current oil. And then you can look at XOM as well. I do want to go over to BTC and talk about this, just to see if there was a move here. There's the same spike. So again, support US. Oh, really? Okay. Support U.S. Oil. All right. Just real quickly here, I want to talk about some crypto. We do have a Raider trader. Looks like we have coming up very, very soon. So I just want to look right now at what's been going on. So Bitcoin today 2.5, Ethereum 4, which is nice. What else we got? Solana. Nice to see Solana back to 150. That's had a little bit of a dump down in there into 120. So it's nice to see that back up there. Dogecoin still, I don't know what they're doing, and not much. I remember looking at that thing, 30, 40 cents was a reasonable level. That's really gotten chopped. My guy Cardano right now is still 70 cents. That's chopped as well. Some of these names that were part of, I'm just going to scroll down for you, Stellar Looms. Where is XRP? I'm still XRP Army here at $2. I've got long at $2. I didn't sell anything. Just a couple, blah, 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 thousands, blah, 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 blah. This is in honor of my guy, Andrew Rader there, who is about to come on here, and he goes, robotic stocks, blah, 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 like that. So we did buy some XRP. I do like where that is going. Without any further ado, I see this man's got a hat on today. Oh, it's a Raider Report hat. Okay, my guy. Your mic is not on, though, my guy.
Where's the mic?
Is it on now?
Hello?
Yes, there it is. The CEO of Ohio.
I was coughing and saying robotics. So, yeah, well,
was a mayor.
not CEO, just majority owner. I actually did
of Ohio.
CEO of Ohio. But I still pull the strings behind the scenes. So.
Okay. Well,
Someone's
Ohio,
got to.
the Cleveland Cavaliers, pretty good over there. The Cleveland Browns got Shedeur Sanders right there. So I'm glad that you allowed the Cleveland Browns.
We'll get to watch him play along with the other 5 quarterbacks. So.
Yes. Okay. Good. So you are well.
Well, one of them you're never going to see play again. So which is a good thing.
Okay. So look, we've been experiencing a lot. The month of April actually turned positive right there. Some of the macro situations really haven't changed too much, other than the rhetoric seems to be more leaning towards tariff deals now, rather than like, let's just slap all these ridiculous tariffs on all these countries and then wait for a response. It looks like there's some deals being done right now. Is that all that we're waiting for? What did you take of the month of April? Were there any opportunities that you saw? Did you make any calls there near the bottom? What are you looking to do? Let's talk about that month of April. Anything that surprised you? Anything you want to focus on now that that's behind us and we start a new one here in May?
Yeah, so I think actually the biggest thing to focus on, a lot of you traders, is actually within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, is that the markets are going to be forced to make a decision. And what I mean by that is we're coming up to a level, which you guys should all know is that 565, 564 right here, where previously that news of tariffs kind of released the Liberation Day. And so now that the markets are back there, we are literally consolidating right at that level. It's called a news level. And typically what happens is price action will return to a news level, and the markets have to make a decision. Do we believe that this is now solved, or do we believe it is now unresolved, is still unresolved, and therefore we have to adjust price accordingly? And there's a few different variables that I'm focusing on as a trader moving into May, which is, of course, the sell in May and walk away month that a lot of people despise, but I think there will be plenty of opportunities, and those opportunities are shown through a lot of the positive gamma environment which we're in, which traps ranges and allows for those range trades. Lower implied volatilities allow for those little multi-day swings as well. But also some other variables such as the earnings season, which I've been trying to play specifically with my strategy of being basically you trade the day 2 and day 3 moves against what the gap direction was. So if you gap, for example, you don't meet expectations, you gap up, you expect to sell off back towards before the report. And that's been working a lot. Names like MO, PFE for that volatility crush, and FSLR, Starbucks. We even talked about that last time. I didn't trade Starbucks personally, but that strategy was consistent across the board.
All right, yeah, I mean, Starbucks was another name that I liked down there near some of those lows, those bottoms that had wicked around a little bit. You thinking anything? I mean, we just talked about, sometimes we talk about energy names with you, and so I do want to look over at the contract itself right now. We just got that news there about Iran. Maybe President Trump just not really feeling many countries or individuals purchasing oil from Iran. But you could see right here on the contract, oil's had a pretty nice drop back in right here. This is just a CL May contract, June contract. You know, Anything about this? Because we do have very similar wick bottoms down here as well. Maybe just the buyers trying to feel out where there's some support. You like anything here on oil? You like the $55 mark or anything here on the CL contract or any specific stocks? I know you and I always talk about the XLE. Are you seeing anything in the energy space right now that's interesting to you?
Yeah, so a variety of different names, sector-specific names are going to be important. So what I mean by that is over the next few weeks, what you guys are going to want to do is focus your trading on stock picking.
Okay.
When we have a VIX over 30, typically the best names to look at are the names actually you most commonly see on this show, Trader TV. You see Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, these kind of names, mega caps that provide those big market-wide exposures, right? Hey, I want to short the market. Let's go short the biggest names within that market to capitalize on those big moves. That's what's been really working in VIX over 30. And it's important as a trader that you have a playbook for anything over 30 VIX and anything under 30 VIX, right? Those lower implied volatilities, what am I going to trade? Because in those different market dynamics, different things work. So specifically with stocks moving forward, I did pick a few different sectors that I'm going to be watching. Specifically, I think there will be a lot of developments in them. So stock picking in particular will be really helpful. I'm not actually looking too much at energy long. I think that that's, again, a very crowded trade. I think we are nearing the late June or early June period where that's going to be a really good one, energy. But as of right now, I'm looking specifically at things like software, a lot of the semiconductors, and some of the other names like that. So those are going to be my big target short. And then beyond that, it's going to be a variety of different names that have already reported earnings. So my goal is to not trade any names that are coming into earnings. I want to stick to those names that have already reported so that they have a more consistent move down and so I can hold longer.
Andrew, just quickly before I pass over to Neil, why, just out of curiosity, seasonality, is that what you're talking about with June, July there with energy? Or why are we not looking at it right now, but potentially in a month or two?
Yeah, so specifically, everyone knows sell in May, walk away. This is a history trend that we've seen throughout the years. Of course, you can't compare this year to any other year, but what you can compare is this month to every other month. Throughout the time, seasonals, the way they work is not because history repeats itself. It works because the mechanics of the market from month to month are generally unchanged. You still have options expiring. You still have money managers moving assets around the same time every single year. And that's why you see these supportive and unsupportive flows. That's why February crashed the market. We expected February to crash the market. Specifically for May, we expect a lot of volatility, a lot of chopping, range bound. Think of it like that. And so we expect some sort of drop into around the 9th, which works out to my favorite OPEX cycles if you guys want to get into that. But we see some sort of drop happening around there, some sort of decision to be made, getting bought up. And then into June and July, we see always that kind of quarterly month, of course, June, seeing a big rally after that as there's a lot of positivity. So that's when you typically want to look at names like energy after that summer period, into that summer period. That's when they start to do really well.
So, I mean, obviously that makes a lot of sense for energy, Andrew, and always appreciate your thoughts. Now, you alluded to this year isn't quite like others. And I think, obviously, what you might mean by that is in a situation, and if you're just putting a little tinfoil hat on, if the overall sentiment is the whole sell in May go away, and we do have a lot of choppiness and a lot of people get stopped out, and we do pull back and have some weakness in there, that would be a very, very good time for some deals to get done. And then all of a sudden, like we say, by the stroke of a pen, a lot of this down move happened. By a stroke of a pen, you get in the other way. How does that change your positioning, knowing that at any moment we could go into hyper rally mode in the short term? Do you have plays that you're like, this is what I would do if all of a sudden we get some deals done? Would you be sitting it out? Because that's a difficult thing for a day trader. It's like you hear the headline, you go. For a swing trader, how would you approach that, knowing that it could happen any moment?
Yeah, so that's one of the scariest parts about this market is that it is so susceptible to news. We know that Trump always loves to be in front of the camera, and sometimes when he is in front of the camera, he says things that he might regret later, but he says anyways. And who knows, right? Not politics aside, right? These are what's moving the market. It's actually been in 2022, if you guys remember, it was mainly any comment about the Fed was moving the market versus now in 2024, it's any comment of Trump, really. And we saw this back in 2016 as well. But specifically to your point of why is this year kind of different, and how do I position knowing that one stroke of the pen could send this into a rally. Right now in the markets, we are in a lower positive gamma environment, or excuse me, a lower implied volatility environment with positive gamma. And so this chart right here kind of reflects that. What it shows is that right here between this kind of 550, 560, all the way up to 575, we have this massive positive gamma regime. And what that means is market makers are going to be selling as it goes higher, and they're going to be buying as it goes lower. This naturally, of course, lowers the day-to-day range that we expect. We're not getting 6-7% days anymore, and you expect ultimately that you see some sort of ultimate dip buying. That is the main reason for this. So the fact that market makers are unsupportive of each direction, well, they are supportive of each direction, but just not pushing it further in each direction. That kind of tells me, okay, then how do we position as traders? One of the best ways that I found to position in lower volatility environments is to look at put and call walls. Now, specifically, guys, one of the biggest liquidity providers to the market is options. Options give a lot of liquidity to the market. In lower implied volatility environments, all it takes is one big put order to reverse an entire stock. And so what I implemented this concept through, especially names like TMUS. TMUS reported earnings on Thursday, dropped into Friday around, 12% here. Right as soon as you dropped into that TMUS, this order came in. This big put order across 230.25, 227.5, 235, huge size on TMUS. Now, in most stocks, this isn't a lot of money. 700K is not that much money. But on TMUS, it is a lot of money, and it came after already the earnings. And in lower implied volatility environment, market makers are going to start buying back shares as these puts lose value quicker, and ultimately, that's why you saw a reverse. You can see the bottom, 232.5, going up into 235, used it as fuel to rally back. This was one of my bigger trades on TMUS, and I encourage you guys to look at those put and call walls on the options market, as they will be very consistent, range-bound trades, but I would remain net long into May and June. Expect that slight reversal, but ultimately, again, trading off that put and call wall range like, that's it. I would advise you guys that in this range, look for extremities. When you see something oversold, that's when you want to try to dive into it. When you see something overbought, that's when you want to dive into it. You don't want to dive into things that are in the middle of the range, as your risk to reward is very low.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times we've seen that. Like some people call it the Christmas tree. For some reason, V shapes aren't cool enough anymore. So we call it the Christmas tree recovery or whatever it might be. We're seeing a lot of that recently. Now, to your point about things being a little bit range bound, I want to ask you. I want to talk about the IWM for a second, if that's okay with you, because if we look at the Russell, when we talk about things condensing after having a lot of volatility, this might be one of the more impressive examples of that at an absolutely monster level. It's one of the only things that had a death cross and was probably the best death cross trade you could have had last month. And it's now right at like a lower high resistance. I mean, it's looking about as bearish as it gets right here. I know you've talked about it before. What are your thoughts here? Because if it just sits range bound, people are probably trying to, hey man, this is going to be a big short, and it does nothing for them in the last, just grinding higher the last 4 or 5 sessions when you look at it.
Yeah, so actually a few different names. It's funny that you mentioned compression. Some different names I'm actually looking at. Number one, I'm looking for stocks that are compressing towards the high for that upside opportunity. In lower implied volatility environments, we can see a lot of things run. And to your point, right? How do we go and find these names? Like, what do we think about compression? Because in this environment with positive gamma, that's what we're expecting. So is anything really going to break out? Yes, I actually do think a few different names are going to. Specifically in the defensive, I think we are a few weeks from defensive starting to actually underperform again, and that the market may peel over then. But right now we have LMT. LMT is one right now. Today we had an inside bar so far. We're chopping towards this big resistance level at 480. I think any gap up you have right here is going to be a nice target and move up into that 595 and above to ultimately see that. So LMT, I think those compression trades towards the highs. And additionally, one on XLU, this one has come all the way back up to that really key 80 resistance level. And utilities is one that I'm going to be watching for. I think that this name, more than anything, you can see a lot of these defensives start to do well. And if we talk recession, right, I always kind of mention this chart right here. When we start talking recession, remember, guys, this is the first contraction we've had since 2022. The first quarter of 2022, we had negative GDP. Then the first quarter of this year, we had negative GDP. The question the market's now going to have to dig for, and it is going to start to price in, is do they think that this is actually the start of the real recession, or is this a temporary contraction as the supply chain was in 2022, and that next quarter we see positive growth? That's something we're going to have to see. But right now, of course, we know that in a recessionary environment and both in that slowdown period, whichever one you think we're in, that defensives typically do well, including utilities, healthcare, and consumer staples being outperformers. So I like those contractions towards the high. To your point, I think playing those contractions and range expansions, but expect them to be sold off ultimately. I like Lulu, LMT, and XLU. Those are my 3 favorite.
There we go. We get 3 favorites out of you, Andrew. We always appreciate you coming through here. But I feel like usually there's like a little secret that maybe anyone that goes and gets a radar report, you can always hint at it. You'll cough at something. You'll drop a little bit of a hint at it. So did you just give everybody all of your ideas right now? Or do you have a little something back that I think anyone can look at your socials or maybe sign up and can be looking forward to?
I'm pretty generous. You guys are like family to me. So as if it's the dinner table, I still swear. But I'm kidding.
No, you don't.
I don't swear at the dinner table. But as far as everything else, guys, I do have a few different trade ideas. Now, the best trade ideas in this environment are not macro. The best trade ideas, that's actually been the more volatile perspective. The more conceptual things that we can understand, the more risk-to-reward opportunities that we can actually take are in the shorter-term opportunity. So majority of my focus, I write 2 different reports. I write the monthly reports and the weekly reports. The monthly reports have been more commentary recently, less long trades, and my week-to-week trades have all been on the weekly reports. I think we've been killing it on those. But I would advise that any of you guys, if you are looking to position macro, now is probably not the time. You're better off waiting if you want to buy any dip to probably waiting till October. I know that seems like forever from now, but I promise you guys, once you kind of see what pans out this year, it's going to be very challenging to justify why you're buying at these levels. And maybe if you're already holding, sure. But as far as the macro view, I'm not looking anything past 2 months. My focus is from week to week, and I think you guys can learn a lot from that. But the week-to-week reports, I'm still updating. I've got a lot more information I'm digging through this weekend, and I'll make sure to post it on there.
There you go, everybody. Andrew Rader, our good friend in the awesome green Raider Report cap, looking absolutely fresh. We appreciate you, brother. Best of luck in all your trades, and go check him out on his socials and, of course, with the Raider Report. I can't wait to talk to you next time, Andrew.
Yep, I'll see you guys in the NFL draft next year.
There you go. You'd be a better quarterback than what the Browns might. I shouldn't. You know what? I can't even say that because they actually. No, I kind of like both. I think I kind of.
I think Shadur's gonna be fine. I like Shadur's.
No, and Gabriel's not bad. He's
the other guy they took. Yeah, they took him in the 4th round.
I don't know why they took him as high as they did, but he's really not bad. And it's one of those, like, I didn't know. I don't watch any Oregon. Let's be real. I'm not Oregon Ducks. Oregon, you watch for track and field, not football. At least not for myself. But so I was watching some tape of that guy on YouTube, and I'm like,
Chip Kelly.
He's really pretty legit. I mean, he's like a mini Tua, although it's a lazy comparison. He's got a better arm than you think, and he can move. His accuracy is actually not bad. Anyways, while all this was going on, there was almost the headline. There was like a U.S. negotiation headline, which brought us higher. I didn't have it exactly. Here we go. Europe ready to make Trump a $50 billion offer. I don't know. Okay. Whatever, says EU negotiator. So we're not flying higher, but we did move higher on that. Like I was in. Remember, I'm one less position. That's because Mara went through my break-even stop. Like Mara, I had my stop right at VWAP and just left it in there. It had only 10% left, and that move happened. IBIT's now above the volume-weighted average price. I mean, Weight Watchers doesn't seem to care about that. Intel, frankly, doesn't actually seem to care either. I was kind of hoping that NVIDIA would do something, but this is like languishing underneath the volume-weighted average price. So obviously, not everything is going higher, but a decent move over there in IBIT. Let's see if on the way back it can hold on to the volume-weighted average price, just above that 55 level. Manny Fresh, no NFL team is from Canada. You are correct, and I don't think we'll ever get one. Buffalo tried to play games here, and we were season ticket holders. Like, think of it this way: Sean and I were season ticket holders to the Buffalo Bills, and we didn't go to the game in Toronto, and we live here. So, just to give you an idea of how it's not going to get supported. It's just not the same thing. You can't tell. You couldn't tailgate. You're going to tell me you can't go to, like, you can't. They had like this cordoned off area, which I think you paid to get into.
Or you need a special, exactly.
Or you need a special pass, something ridiculous. And then you could drink. So you're used to going down to Ralph Wilson and chilling in the parking lot from 9 a.m.
Bill's Mafia.
With Bill's Mafia.
Niels used to like getting
Oh
thrown
no,
through
I
tables.
I never did that. We did some shotguns, but we're not jumping off tables around here.
No, we're not doing anything. We
That's
have we have bad backs. You're not doing it either, Joe.
Joe, you're not jumping off.
You know,
I mean,
speaking about the NFL right now, you can gamble on the NFL on many sites, but you're not going to get a site that has better odds than Profit X, man. These guys give you total control. We can show you the Maple Leafs tonight. I'm putting everything on the Maple Leafs tonight, honestly. Enough is enough. Open API access for automation as well. I've actually been waiting. I don't code, but I've been waiting for a site that will give you this kind of automation because you can scout back and forth. It's all in one place. It's like day trading your favorite sports. Maybe I don't need to be on it then. Manage your risk with your diverse options diverse predictions. Don't just place picks, exchange them. ProfitX, the smarter, faster way to play. Users, of course, use code TraderTV to get 2% cash back. Sign up ASAP to go find out the best deals in town, the best odds in town with, of course, ProfitX. So scan that QR code right there. Yeah, look, I mean, tonight I think the Maple Leafs are going to win this game. They don't want to come back here and get haunted with the Ottawa Senators. And you've seen Joe's sort of gone on his rant here about every other team closing out, but not Toronto. But today, ladies and gentlemen, is the day the Maple Leafs, Mr. Wilson, enter the second round of the 2025 NHL playoffs. So to go play Florida and Joe, be a little more positive over there. Okay. Right. To win in 7. Okay, so hard to say everything with a straight face as the Maple Leafs have not had the greatest record in the past in the playoffs, despite having obviously one of the top payrolls and being well supported here. And a lot of people passionate, just as passionate about hockey, obviously in Canada, as you guys are about the NFL and NBA and things like that. Like you turn on SportsCenter, which is it's TSN, but it's ESPN. It's the same. The first stories for about the first 10 minutes is all NHL. And then whenever I watch ESPN, it's maybe the last 5 minutes of their hour show. They go, oh yeah, by the way, there are NHL Stanley Cup finals going on. And this team lost to that team and back to what's going on with LeBron. Hockey on people's minds around here today because I said the luckiest team around, Neil, and I talked to this yesterday, are the Blue Jays. But the Blue Jays aren't that bad. I look at the record. They're 14-16. I just think they had lost 6 in a row, and that's tough. But Santander hit it was right where we were standing almost, and it was a huge shot right there last night. And, Vladimir Guerrero is getting paid, I think, $15 million per home run so far, but that will change as he'll get many more home runs than 3.
Here's a question for you. You catch that ball, you give it to a kid?
Yeah, I have no, maybe, I'd give it to my kid, but she wasn't there, so I probably would give it to another kid. Yeah, I don't have any, I'm not in love with that kind of stuff. Well, to me, that wouldn't hold any value. I think if it was a playoff game or something like that I could hold as a memory and maybe I was there with my family or something. Yeah. But no, me and a couple dudes hanging out, pounding back the beers and this and that. No, I'm there to have a good time. And fly ball would go directly to somebody.
I only ask that because I 100% I usually do because I go to a lot of games. So my daughter, she gets a lot of balls because we've been taking her since she was a baby. Mm-hmm. And so someone catches the ball anywhere near us and they're like, ooh, cute little. So she gets a lot. And a couple of times I've been like, look, she has a bunch. Just keep it. If you probably have your own kid. That's my other thing. If you have your own kid, it's you can take it home and give it to your kid if they want. So the whole force, anytime people crap on someone that doesn't give it to a kid, you don't know. Maybe they want to give it to their child that isn't there. Anyways, let's go over to Adara. I don't know why he went on that rant, but
that wasn't much of a rant.
It's not that much of a rant.
Here is the NASDAQ. We do have the trade commissioner of the EU making some comments here. Looks like in an interview in the Financial Times. So people wondering where those EU comments were coming from. Looks like they're not reports. It looks like it's actually an interview here with Marko Sefcovic, the EU trade commissioner. Basically what he said is the European bloc would not accept Washington keeping 10% tariffs on its good as a fair resolution to trade talks. So the EU says, don't give us that 10% tariff still. That will not be a fair resolution. I think that's probably the most interesting comment I've kind of seen coming out here. But the EU Trade Commissioner did say apparently that they're willing to strike a balanced and fair deal with the White House. Again, looks like these are just comments coming out of an interview here with the Financial Times. EU trade chief doing some talks as the market continues to chop around. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean,
you think
strike a pose, nothing to it, Vogue.
that was a big.
I mean, shout out to Madonna, get those Italians going on again. And I did see that Donald Trump is bringing back Columbus Day. This guy is crazy. Like, there's just so many things that have changed. Gulf of Mexico, Columbus Day celebrations are apparently
Okay.
back.
I have a stupid question, and like, don't at me because we're Canadian. Columbus Day is gone. Like, but how?
Yeah.
It
was more of like
it's still Columbus Day.
It was more of a No, I know the reasons why. Yeah, they gotten rid of it there, just like they had torn down some statues. And now we're gonna have to get political because of this, but that has nothing to do with it. It's just thinking about things that are coming back into favor again, and that's another thing there. I thought Columbus Day, the celebrate. I don't know. If I don't know if it's a bank holiday anymore, but I think he was reinstating it, or some of the parades and whatnot that have happened.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought I saw something about that, and just.
Oh, they did change it to something else. Okay, whatever. I plead ignorance. I didn't know that one.
They changed it to Dundas Square, I think they did.
Dundas Square. Oh goodness. So we're starting to come back in here at least a little bit. So we're not accelerating that much, but we're definitely pulling back. Man, Nvidia can't get going. That's not going to be much of a long, and I might not want this IBIT long. I should be thinking about getting back into MAR. Market's looking.
Canada Goose is now America Goose.
Right
That's
now.
hilarious.
No, Canada Goose is never going to be American Goose.
I like that though. That's funny though.
Oh goodness, AMD. What is going on with AMD? AMD's going to go red
Raquel, I
on
need
the
to see you here immediately.
I'm in the wrong thing. What are you? Don't do that. Don't even. You don't even want to know what Sean is doing right now to Sharif.
I'm not doing anything.
I heard you.
Yeah. Well, everyone heard me. My mic is...
Sharif is, first of all...
Oh, here goes Sharif. No, I think it's because
Sharif is like mowing down on the, not omelets, the quiche from this morning.
He took 8 boiled eggs yesterday or something like that.
There's only 12. How you couldn't have taken 8? It says on the package,
he said he's
12 pieces, and so it was like 12 boiled. He couldn't have had 8.
Okay, so I had one, you had one.
I had one. I get one because it's one each.
Oh, really? Well,
it says on the thing. I open it in the morning, and it goes one.
So he's getting in trouble on purpose for good reason then. Man, what a rule violator, Sharif.
He's a line stepper.
Yeah. So he's got to go. No, we just hear we have a lady that takes care of the kitchen, so he's got to.
It was amazing, by the way.
I got to speak lightly.
Okay, no, I have to. I actually have to tell this story. So, like back when we were at the old office, and
I think your voice.
No, you know, but you remember this. Okay. When we were at the old office, there was back office and the trading floor shared the same kitchen, and everyone you would line up for lunch at the same time, and everyone. Lunch bell happens. Everyone comes. They want to get their lunch at the same time. Down. And I remember waiting in line one time with myself and another trader. And while we were waiting in line for the lunch, something happened on one of our stocks, and we got absolutely blown out, stopped out, and shut down. And we couldn't react to it in real time because we were standing in the lunch line. And we were talking about it. And so the lady who does the lunch line heard us and found out about it and approached us and offered, hey, you know what? I heard about what happened. I can make your lunch and set it aside for you so that you guys can go and pick it up and not have to wait in the line. Because we both took 4-figure hits that day, which actually didn't need to be that big had we been at our stations. And I remember that happened. I'm like, what an incredibly kind person, because we didn't even ask for it. She just decided she wanted to do it. So always in my good books, regardless. Because at the end of the day, there's some losses that it's fine, you lose, but when you lose 3x because something as silly as that, maybe you're in the bathroom or waiting in line, that's frustrating. But back to the market, I don't know why AMD is so weak today, but this is breaking fresh lows and just continuing to bleed. It's threatening to go red here. If the NASDAQ loses VWAP, AMD's got to be a short. We're losing the 50 period again. So this is the second time in the last month in the last month or so, or 2 months, sorry. That AMD has tried to break out above the 50 period and is going to lose it. If this loses the 50 again, this seems like it'll be a short-term short. So 98 is gone. Got to start thinking about 98.70 is where the 50 period was. That's gone. 98 is what's left. So morning high 98.20. I think shorting pops and AMD makes some sense. It's just that Intel, it's working, but it's not going. So I want to maybe go over to AMD. Relative weakness abound.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was reading the chat. I didn't know you were.
We got a super chat.
Yeah, we do have a super chat. Well, it's from before, so I just want to say shout out to Nikhil here. Thank you so much for reminding me right into there, Nikhil. He asked about Amazon, Airbnb, and whatnot. So yeah, let's go over and have just a quick little look there and see what's going on. So here's the implied move right here for Amazon, over 6% right now. I'm not worried about the EPS or the revenue or anything like that. Airbnb, 11% move, almost 12%. So implied wise, we do have decent opportunities here. So if we're going to go with Amazon 6%, let me have just a quick little look at what this looks like to me. So again, you know, I think we've had a big run in this name. It does look very similar to all the other names that have already reported. The good thing about Amazon that I think today, and it's already up 3%. So this is the problem, is it's already up a lot, and that has something to do with Microsoft and Azure, right? Azure was a good spot for Microsoft, good increase in volume in the cloud. So Microsoft's up 9%. So Amazon today is catching some wind from that report. So when AWS number drops, I do expect it to be a banger, and it's going to be monstrous. But how much of that is already figured into some of the move today? So I'm a little bit cautious on the fact that it's already up 3%. Microsoft hadn't moved on any in particular earnings report other than their own. They should have moved a little bit on Google's, but that nothing really did on that one. We did see Meta go upside, then Google retraced back the rest of the day. Now Google was under 160. We'll have to check out what it's at right now. So for me, for Amazon, I really do love. What's up, Sharif? What's up, guys? That's the chilling. That's the chilling. Yeah, Neil, you need to do more chilling.
My back hurts just sitting like that.
Exactly.
Like, that's ridiculous.
But
it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Steve, you don't need to stay tonight, by the way. No. Why? No, you don't have to. You don't have to. Well, we have Steve Tomlin. Okay, it doesn't matter. I spoke to Brendan about it. If you want to, it's fine. Okay, so anyways, what I was going to say about Amazon, right here, $200. Like, that's the 200 period moving average. So I do think it gets going there. I think they did have that little bit of a threat there from the Trump administration when they were going to put their warning on those halls, where they're going to show the hall website, where they were going to show the tariffs, and then they backed away from that. So, I mean, I think they can guide fine. I think the Prime Day, there was a little bit of a story there that it may not be as great moving forward. So for me, I like the retail side of things. Jobs still remain relatively strong. We did get a negative GDP print, but that was Biden's fault. We know that. So hopefully moving forward, we'll be able to figure that part out. And just for me on Amazon, you know, dropping down 6% brings us, like, these moves have been very violent. Like, we were just at 180 yesterday. You know, and then you get that bump up right now. So I would say that this is the level that we're looking at, 180 right now, to hold. So if it gets down into there, I'd be a buyer of this. I can't really see anything negative in their report. I think AWS is going to be strong. We have no reason to believe it's not. And then the retail side of things, again, I think the consumer trades down, right? I mean, you know, you've seen Walmart, and people aren't afraid right now. Walmart's back up to $97. This thing went down to $70. You know, when everybody was scared of what was happening, or 77, I don't want to let's just say $80, but it does go down to 77. This name cracked below the 50 period moving average and the 200 period moving average. Now we believe in the consumer again. So why is this going up if we have a weak consumer? So I would say that Amazon has everything working for it. We just talked about some cool programs that were on Prime these days and whatnot. So I like Amazon. I think that's a good look. So you know, we can talk about Airbnb in a minute, but for me, Amazon, I think Nikhil is a winner, and I would be bullish. I am bullish on that stock, and we've talked about it for a while. The stocks that we would have liked to buy on dips were Meta, and we were right about that. That's up that 7% or
Amazon.
5% right now, and Amazon was the other one. So yeah, if it's a bad report, I say buy. I so much believe in it that I put a bid at 180 the other day. It just never got filled. And then it was only a day, and there should have, if I kept it there, it would have got filled. But
put 180.69.
That's how much we liked it. Yeah, no, it didn't. The day I put it there, it didn't get there.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so it was on that day when the hall.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was, well. Look, we got a couple of super chats in here, and half of that might have been answered. Bienvenidos. Thank you for the super chat. Do we get a bull run tomorrow? Well, I think Amazon, how about this? Amazon matters more than Apple. That's what I think is going to matter here. Because I think Apple is so much, it's just so much deal or no deal that it doesn't make a difference. And then Chris L, appreciate you. Ham will now be called American bacon. I'll eat it, whatever it's called. That's a good thing. I don't get sensitive about that kind of stuff. Who cares? Does it taste good? Answer yes, Neil eats. It's that simple. So I want to get to this SL Select quote, SLQT, which was halted several times to the downside. They're defended in a DOJ drug case along with HUM. It's trying to bounce higher. A lot of times when you have a story like this and a negative move, first thought, it pulls the gap in. Look what happens at VWAP. The only thing I would add to that is you've got a couple of halt prices, like the halt down at 262, and then you've got this, I guess, reopen top here at 273, which I think are both important levels. So if it does press higher, I'd more likely want to be shorting it above VWAP into that prior halt high at 274. So I'm going to throw it up there. I don't know if it's going to make that kind of a recovery push, but that's obviously not good news for them. And it's also as Sharif likes to say, flat bottom break. The prior low was 280, so you have that going for it as well. So if you pull back into this 260, 270, you got the 280 prior low going, you got the halt high at 274. That'd be the area I'd want to be able to sell. And because I should always check this, the $2 stock, don't assume, we have locates on it. I didn't know mid-select quote, but I would figure we do, but free locate. So this is now on the radar. If we break VWAP, I'd look to go short into that 280 level. Outside of that, right now, as we're going down, where's my next bid on? I don't know why I typed in NY for Intel. I want it breaking down to like 20.05. I'd like it to break. It goes red at 2010, so I want it to go red on the session and then take some out there for sure. And I saw someone just say, have a look at Alibaba. Why, what is Baba doing? I hit enter. Oh, there you go. That was weird. Baba, yeah, nice retracement on Baba. That's a really good trend reversal trade. Double top, trend reverse. It's up today. And Andrew was talking about the condensing that's happening in the market. It's a lot of places. We've made this big rebound, and you are just winding up for a move. So when you're day trading this, it's almost like you have to anticipate that you're going to have the tight range in so many things, and then just be ready for the breakdown or the breakout. And Baba is near the top of the list of you break higher, which probably needs a headline, and you can be 10, 15 bucks higher quickly, but it works both ways. We lose this bottom. I think Alibaba sees that $100 level again. The irony of Alibaba is the only reason, and I remember doing when we did our picks, the only reason that I didn't make Alibaba my pick is because I had been talking it up before and already bought it at that level. I'm like, well, let's not count something which we were talking up in December. Go to something new. And then obviously, the stimulus move was great, and that's the level it got bought off of. I think it's not going back to that level on the next dip. I think the $100 level has been too good, and it's another stock. Like, I regret not respecting the 200 period moving average on Alibaba. Like, I love the 200 period moving average. Yet when Alibaba got down there, I said each and every single one of these days, I'm waiting for 80 again. You wait too long, you miss. So, I mean, it's been a good trade. It's just, sometimes you have to hold yourself to account. That's all.
Yeah, no, I think that I was just messaging Sharif. Okay, I'll finish this conversation with him after. Okay, so I just want to review this trade too, because I was also messaging Obi. I don't mind showing if we want to. I just want to, like, we're changing this whole. I don't know if you guys can hear more echoes and everything. Like I feel like I can. I hope it's not affecting.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think it's affecting the end result here. But yeah, Obi has switched. He over there right now, no longer behind us. We've taken out a couple rows right now behind us as the renos have started. So we do want to thank, there's Obi's not at his desk. Now Ramina's sitting there. And show that one more time, just so I can show you can't pan over. All of that, used to be a whole row right in front of Ramin there as we look to tear things down and get going again. But anyways, that's enough. That's good enough. I just wanted to show everybody that Obi is no longer sitting right back there. He's been delegated to the corner. And then I think eventually when this whole thing becomes kind of studioed up, he may go in and sit with the algo guys or figure that all out at some point. So generally he's in behind there. We're like, Obi wave, but he's not there right now. So, anyways, pretty cool stuff happening.
We
around
need
here.
some elbow room. That's why.
That's why I made that joke earlier about we don't have enough space around here. The drills earlier today, because they're starting to take apart some of the desks and whatnot, and then maybe potential fire sale. And I actually you know, there's some good monitors and good setups there for spot monitors and whatnot there. So yeah, we're looking to change and to adapt and get bigger and better. And we want to thank everybody. And we talk about the super chats and everything like that and going to good use. And
where it goes.
you know, thank you for putting up with us. Sometimes, you know, we'll have some reads about, you know, different products and whatnot. And you know, it's all going. There it is. There, that's Brendan right there. He's working. That is Justin Bieber, I think.
No, it's not. Is it?
No, of course it's not Justin Bieber. He's not doing that.
But like, where is that
Justin
even from?
Bieber, Canadian icon. Poor guy just wants to play his little guitar in Stratford, Ontario. And now he's a 100 millionaire.
And he survived.
What's up, Haley? Haley Bieber. Yeah. Anyways, great cosmetic line. For sure. Haley Bieber. She started all the nails. Some sort of a Haley Bieber look over there.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, I'm long. I forgot to talk about this. Oh, the one trade that I'm in. So I'm in the queues. We just talked about it. But another trade that we're in that's actually cooking right now. We've just been so busy doing other things. We had Raider Trader on. We had this. We had that. You can take a look at this. Take a look at that. But right now, Tesla up to 284. It is not bad. So let's take another piece out because I did forget about it a little bit there as I was only focusing on the futures because I did have way more invested in that trade than in this trade. It didn't break 282 again, so we should have reloaded it. I guess I had canceled, you know, when I went to get this coffee or whatever, I had canceled some of the bids that I had there to get longer, but the stop was still down into here. You know, when we took this trade early, it was 282.75. We were only giving it 75 cents, and immediately these outs are 284.50. Like, we took about $1.75 within the first like 5 minutes, so that got me a little more conservative with my outs because we'd already taken a lot of profit there. And unfortunately, I didn't have anything at the 200 period. Like I said, I'd zoned out there and should have had something there right now. So we took some more out there at the 200. Now that we break, you can clearly see that there's this 284 wall there. So let's take some more out at 284, which we just did. And let's see if 285 can come into play. Again, we're way, way heavier, like crazy heavier in the TQQs. You know, and again, it has nothing to do with the price. Well, it does have to do with the price, but I'm more interested in the short in the market than I am in that long for Tesla right now. So let's see if this market gives a little bit back. We're under the 50-period moving average, and we're going to look to test VWAP. But we are very aware. Yesterday's one of the biggest trades. I think it even went to P&L number 1 or 2 for the show, I think, yesterday, and that was just Tesla ripping in the afternoon, and we had that play right here on Tesla. That's not yesterday afternoon. That's today. This is yesterday afternoon when it just went right to the upside. So very similar movement there from 3 to 4 on Tesla upside. So we just bought it today off. This is yesterday, but if you bought it yesterday, 278, like on similar bottoms. So that's kind of like what we're doing right now, trying to buy off of this low to see if we
go.
Yeah, buy off the low to see if we go. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll do that. It's a busy night tonight, man. The wife's been bugging me. The Handsmaid Tale was Tuesday, but I haven't seen my wife the last couple of nights because we've just been doing different things. And then even tonight, she's going to some sort of a play downtown. And then I've got I got to go visit my guys at Volkswagen. And then I got to go to drop the kid off at chess. And then every Thursday, I meet up with some of the assistant coaches of the rep team, and we talk baseball and figure that all out. And so I'll be home around 8:15, at which point, Joe's not sitting here anymore, but at which point the Maple Leafs will probably have a 2 or 3 goal lead.
They better have a 2 or 3
by the time the first period's over.
I'm excited because I actually usually, Thursday's usually my physio day, but my guy's on vacation.
Okay.
So, but I'm still going to put work in. But I'm going to get a haircut and then I'm still going to put my work in. Like, I know I have the routine. I'm still going to do it. Tonight I'd go for a run, but I want to make sure we get our session in. That's what it's all about. I mean, I'm so close. I don't know, I'm going to say this out loud, but I didn't tell you this, Shreve. I'm considering doing my 5K not in the fall, but I'm considering doing it in June, because that's a goal of mine. And it would be less than 1 year since my Achilles tear, and they told me, you and I don't do any of that kind of stuff. You're not going to get to full athletic recovery till after 12 months. So being able to do it before July would be a big deal to me, and I promise it will not be fast. But Coles is moving Like, it is a little bit, okay, not that fast. It's a $7 stock. It's not going to go $1. But it's finally breaking out that top from this morning, lo and behold. And shout out to everybody that mentioned that this was going through that 735 high. I'm going to see if we can't buy a little bit of a dip in here. Like, just let it pull back into the prior high, retest it. I mean, if it's resistance, why not try to turn it into support? And just one thing, Palm Beach, Peter, this new doctor, believe me, I would not, like, I've done a lot in my rehab to let me know that I can start running again. Yeah. That's why. Like, believe me, he put me through some stress testing, and it was in July.
Yeah.
The surgery was in July.
Right. Because that's what. That's why ChatGPT says the same thing. 12 months, it says. Return to sports normal activity, 6 to 12 months. So it's very wide.
So the 6 months is like the normal, so I could walk.
I remember on July 3rd, that was when we had that pre-Independence Day half day. Neil was not there for that pre-Independence Day half day because he was getting his ankle done or his Achilles done because he had torn his Achilles the evening of Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. I am not a creep. I just have a good memory, and this will check out if you go back on X and find it. Back to you.
But look, no, but I didn't even remember. I'm the one that tore my Achilles. I don't even remember that to the day. That's not human. No, it's not that I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure I put it in my calendar. July.
What's up to, okay, you find that out. We'll, what's up to Nimit? Nimit's coming back. So what's up, Nimit, my guy over here? I'll be planning on being in July around, here around, me and Nimit and I went out again. We had beers. Hopefully you guys can make it with us this time.
Oh, she's right.
Planning to be in Toronto around mid-July. So we'll ping me on X. Yeah, man, hopefully, like I said, hopefully these boys can come out with us next time. Perfect, yeah. So Sharif is going to be there as well. Yeah, in July. Well, just what Nimit had said there. Oh, what's up, Rob? Rob Beck. Thanks for being here day in and day out. You are, I would be no other place. You know, honestly, like, same kind of thing, man. I mean, the only time that we'll try to take days off is when we're forced to. Okay, so yeah, Amazon. So this is what happens when you ask me for my opinion on Amazon, by the way. Obviously, all the algos, no, just kind of kidding. But there it goes right up to the upside there. I said it was looking like it was going to beat. I saw no reason why it shouldn't. And of course, the market doing nothing and Amazon going ham now right there. So I see what you did there, Nikhil. I see what you did. This man must be running $1 billion hedge fund and then all of a sudden going in there and buying it. But please do not buy it on my recommendation. But yeah, no, just playing around. There goes Amazon. Look, it's a good stock. We had talked about that. That's not a huge move. Its implied move is still 6%. The only hesitation that I had with Amazon about it having a huge move tomorrow, I still think the move is up. The hesitation is AWS is going to be solid. We already know a little bit about the retail side of things. The expectation, though, for me is what if Amazon starts talking about all dem satellites that they got in the sky, right? So right now, they do have a program out there that is not trying to battle Starlink or anything like that. It's just a competitor, right? So they're going to try to do something similar to that. So I could see if that really gets going and there's some positivity in their report about that and maybe some shining some more light on, you know, will it be a revenue driver moving forward? Will there be anything involved? And I forget what that program is called, but they've started to release it, and that could be something as well. I do know that they're looking at Rivian and all those things to get more electrified as far as their delivery service is concerned. So that should bring down cost and lower the dependence on oil for Amazon as well. You know, that's part of the reason why I was thinking about going to EV, not because of the price or anything of oil, but just it's nice to, you know, potentially just plug your car in and not worry about it. And I think a place like Amazon that has, hundreds, 1,000 vehicles, maybe more than that. Maybe I'm way off. I have no idea. But if they can electrify their fleet as well, that should eventually, and look, it'd be a hit right now because they're going to have to pay for them. But at the end of the day, shareholders pay for everything. And then it will wind up just hitting, you know, like I said, better to margins, so more profitability if they can take away that energy aspect for the delivery. So I think satellite could be a big driver, and other businesses, right? And Amazon again, like I didn't even know about that haul service, their new website that they were trying to pump as well. Before I go back,
Not a lot of people knew about it at all. None of my friends.
No,
well,
exactly.
not our friends.
Well, you have
I
the guy
should
in that shipping industry as well, right? So, transport. I just want to say, like, so right there on Amazon, on Tesla, speaking about EVs, we just got another piece out. You're still cold? I find it okay here right now.
Really?
Boom, boom, boom. There's 84. There's 84 again. There's 84.50. So I'm always sitting at those kind of levels, 50-cent levels and things like that. So, like, our next stop is pretty easy up here, 84, 85 flat. So if we can get that, then good on us. But we're getting lighter and lighter, man. We only now have 20% of this position, period. And the position is where we have it on the board, 82.80. So nice little move there. Shout out to Sir Poppy, who says he or she is always listening to us. Well, it says sir, but doesn't necessarily matter. Always listening to us audio, and nice to see us now in person. So
shout out to you.
I hope we didn't disappoint.
Well, I hope not, but and there was a question about Robinhood, and then when I answered in the chat, it's the first caveat is to kick my butt today. But before we get there, look, I'm just taking more out of WW. It cannot seem to break 70, which it couldn't break this morning either. So we're going to get some out in front of it. I'm not reloading this thing at VWAP. There's only about 35 minutes left in the day here, but I wanted to get to Rod Beck. Thank you so much for that super chat. Rob Beck.
Yeah.
Rod Beck was the closer for the Giants, not.
Yeah.
It was Rod Beck.
I said Rob Beck, and then I said Rod Beck as well. You must have missed that.
Yeah, no, because it's like the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh my goodness, I remember that dude, a good closer. But then Havana Woody here, we'll get to this, and I'm gonna get to the Robinhood question. I have a massive amount of price levels on stocks I've never traded just from listening every day to the show, and so.
What was that?
He says, he goes, I have a massive amount of price levels on stocks that he's never traded just from listening to the show.
Okay.
And what I was getting at is, because why I'm so impressed with Adara's memory is if it's not random stock prices that you just remember because you're watching, I looked it up. She's 100% right.
Okay.
Because of course she is. That's how she rolls. If it's not that or like random baseball stats, then my memory is like, it's very, very hit or miss, which if you watch the show, you know. But I can remember all the prices I buy and sell stuff at. I can remember the prices I put orders at, close my eyes and remember like 50 orders that I can have out there. That's a different story. So caveat, Robinhood kicked my butt today, but you know what? 47's still holding. And it's not random. Remember in the aftermarket where it first held, 47? Like that, forget about that wick. 47 held multiple times when we were doing the aftermarket show, and it's still holding. So at least for now, 3-day rule aside, I don't like it when a good quarter gets sold off in a general sense. It doesn't make you want to rush to buy. But that 47 is above the 50 period. Right now, you're well above the your upward sloping 200 period, which is a positive sign generally for your trend. So as long as this can hold, it's a higher low from pre-earnings. If that can hold for a couple of days here, KSS finally came back. If it can hold for a couple of days here, then I think it looks a little more constructive on Robinhood. But that's the key level. It's showing it to you and staring you in the face and saying 47 is it for today. But remember, it kicked my butt until it got to that number. So I just jumped into Kohl's. I want to give it to like 34 in here. If it's a failed breakout at 330, then I don't want to be giving it a ton of room. There's not as much time left in the day for it to work when you're making a play on a breakout. But Kohl's, by the way, the story on Kohl's was they got rid of their CEO for cause. And the interim CEO has been put into place, but we'll see how that goes. And that was, Adair just saying he was there for less than a couple of months. With cause. You don't usually see that, but the stock reacted quite positively, as you can obviously see, up 10%, decent short float, and breaking out here on the 15-minute, or at least it's attempting to. So that's what we're looking at right now. I don't know if we have any other questions up there in the chat. Paul asking about BBAI. They report after the bell. It's going to be rapid fire after the bell.
That Amazon wanted Airbnb. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Shoot.
Because I sort of did Amazon, and I don't want to influence my
I forgot all
bullish ideas on people.
I forgot all about Airbnb. But the first thing I'd said when we came up is that I keep seeing Verbo everywhere, and we still use Airbnb. Actually, you know what?
By the way, I have a new idea.
No, I think we did a Verbo when we went to spring training this year. We didn't do Airbnb this year. And it was the first time. But I'm concerned about them because where do you think people cut back? McDonald's had their worst. They had their biggest drop in same-store sales since the pandemic. It's McDonald's, man. If people aren't spending as much, like that gets me a little bit worried, and that would make me worried about Airbnb. Maybe not for this quarter, but certainly for the next one. So my thought is support turning into resistance, and I'd be a little, unless there's some kind of really crazy blowout numbers, I'd be more concerned with selling into this even on positive, a positive report than anything else. I'm just a little bit concerned about travel right now. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the right time. It's a high risk point, I think. We've gotten some bad data that the market's been able to shrug off because tech has been good. Not necessarily because I think the travel names will be all right. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on Airbnb. Doesn't mean that I don't own any stocks. It's not like I'm selling anything in front of 130 because I have no shares to sell. But that's all I see.
All right, there we go. Yeah, thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, everybody, for your kind words in the chat for all the time. I mean, you guys can always ask us on anything. Oh, so Scott's Miracle-Gro actually had following Wednesday on a Q2 sales miss. So we talked about this yesterday. Remember, I was like, what the heck was going on with Scott's Miracle-Gro there? But yeah, that was Wednesday. So I actually made... That's just great timing by me, nothing else. Because yesterday, when we called this open, I talked about grow generation brands, and I talked about Scott's Miracle-Gro as sort of other ways to play the marijuana or cannabis industry. And it hasn't been great for this company, and I have not done, obviously, any research because I didn't even realize they reported yesterday. But it's going to look pretty genius right here because you're up 7%. Today, so it's just making that back. So watch out for Scott's Miracle-Gro. You need to sort of like overlay, news in the space with MSOS and see if that even has any relationship, because it was an idea that I had. Oops, not MSO. Well, MSOS or X is the same thing. One is 2 times. But we had legalized cannabis here almost a decade ago. I think it was 2017 or 2018, something like that. 2018? Yeah, okay. So, that's when I was sort of thinking about other plays, that were tertiary, or is that the right word, to, just the straight growers. There's multi-state operators like True Leave and whatnot that continue to be good. It's not like this. It's on the OTC. I'm going to have to find what it is. But, other names, like rather than just straight growers, like a Tilray or CGC, which is Canopy Growth, some of these names just continue to be absolutely destroyed. I mean, Tilray, it was in the hundreds when it was getting squeezed back in the day. But, yeah, there's Trulieve, and there's a few other ones, Green Thumb, a few other operators that are much better. It's better to sell the stuff than grow the stuff. So that's my take there. And so if you're going to look for the growing side of it, that's where I was talking about GRWG, which is Grow Generation Brands. This is something where, again, it's the hydroponics. But these stories, I mean, it's had a nice move off the bottom, 90 cents up to 120. But because cannabis is now, I know it's not federally cool, that may happen soon. It's just... Now there's a lot of places that sell the equipment and stuff like that. So I think that more due diligence on some of these names are required. And SMG, there's probably great competition. There's probably even better ways right now to harvest and so on and so forth, your own crops, if you know what I'm saying. And you can grow many things, parsley and basil and all that with Scott's Miracle-Gro as well. So I don't think you should smoke parsley, though.
Well, I mean, also sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Yes.
Definitely.
All of those, man. All the great cooking and great for the aroma. Hey, what's up, Brendan? There you go. Got a little side view there of Brendan.
Where's Brendan going to go when they kick all this stuff out?
Where's Brendan going to go? Yeah. He'll be around here. He'll be in the building somewhere.
Because that role's going to...
We'll figure it out.
That's going to go, too.
Brendan, the man, always has the sharpest hair around. He doesn't let it get past a certain millimeter.
Because he can also apparently do his own fade, which is, I think, impressive.
Oh, yeah. You can get those now. They have those hand ones where you do it yourself.
Hold on a second. I bought one of those during COVID.
Oh, no good?
Well, it didn't work for me.
Why, though?
It wasn't very even. Look, maybe it was the type of hair thing. I have no idea, but I did buy one and try. It just didn't work out, so I got a traditional, like the normal like razor, the clippers, and did that, and then I would bick it. It didn't work for me, that product.
I thought you were going bald. Like, I thought you were bicking the whole thing.
Oh, I am going.
Okay.
Look, man, I'm going bald.
No, not that. I mean, I thought you were that as a style.
Eventually. Eventually I'm going to do it. I just, I haven't sold my daughter on it. She thinks daddy looks funny. I'm like, look how short my hair is. Right. This is like 2 or 3 weeks of growth is how long my hair is. So how she thinks I look different.
Your hair grows fast then.
I don't go bald. Like I do. Watch. I'll get a haircut tonight, and you guys.
Oh
will
yeah, that's
see.
right.
It's
You're
not
going
that
to
much. It's not that
What?
much
You don't get a haircut every 2 weeks? What's going on? You just said you had 2 or 3 weeks of growth on your hair now.
Yeah, but I don't usually get it every couple of weeks. Usually I let it grow more. But because I don't have to go to physio.
Right,
and
you're just going to knock it out.
My wife's doing some traveling next month, so like I'm going to get it done because when she travels, I have zero free time in the evenings. Like I don't have a spare moment. It's just, there's always something happening. But I wanted to add something, just one thing on that. On the weed names. CGC. I don't like these stocks in the general sense. Like none of them have been performing well. But there's something happening on CGC that hasn't for a while, which I think you can tell. And obviously, the last time it consolidated over the 50-period moving average, it was a trap. It gave you 10%, but it was a trap. But right now, it's consolidating above $1, above the 50-period moving average. As far as like trades go, you can do worse than this if it breaks out the one. I would like it to break out the 150 though. That's sort of the thing. I think the risk to reward is pretty darn good if you're into the sort of understand that you're risking 30 to 40% because your stop's either under the 50 or the $1 level, and you're trying to take it into like, 2.5, 3, 3.5. I did something similar with Tellurian a couple of years ago, and it worked out. I'm actually considering doing this in CGC. And obviously, you have the positive headline. Any positive headlines federally would be good for them. But yeah, it's looking pretty consolidative above that $1 for sure. And Sebastian, no. Couldn't even if I wanted to. I could never pull off, my hair doesn't grow that long, and not anymore. When I was younger, I would do, the look I liked the look I used to love was I'd grow out my fro in the summers when I was playing baseball. So I could have like that ridiculous, the hat with the fro coming out. That was pretty cool. I did that. I only did it legit one summer though, because Jesse Barfield was my favorite player, and I used to always remember he'd have that whole put the hat down and the fro be coming out. So yeah, I'm taking it way back there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must have been back in.
He left the Jays.
Back in your Ute.
'89, he left the Jays.
That was definitely.
See, like that I can remember. I can remember he got traded in the first month of 1989, and it was leading the American League in home runs with 5 at that point. That I can remember, but I couldn't remember the exact date of my Achilles. No, it was in April, so like.
Yeah, okay. Thank you to Jam right here. Jam low-key, Jam low-C. All right, so I nailed many of these names, of course. I talked about True Leave and Green Thumb. So here are a couple more. The symbol that I was looking for, of course, was TCNNF. So there it is right there on the pink sheets. None of these things on the OTC markets formerly or just known as pink sheets. You could see, look at this move up that it's had. Can you take a look at that? So it's a nice move off the bottom. We'll see if those can continue to work as well. Curaleaf is another name. And again, these are multi-state operators, some of them anyways. CRULF, CURLF, that's right. There it is. So, whoa, down 8% today. Okay, maybe we don't invest in this one. But again, some nice moves there off the bottom. A lot of these names have been absolutely crushed. Verano Holdings. I mean, most of them are going to be on the OTC because they're housed right here in Canada, either on our junior exchanges like the CSE or Venture Exchange as well. This is Green Thumb. I mean, this one again. Like most of these names are crushed. I'm just talking about instead of buying. Growers, grab some retail names and whatnot. So there it goes. Nice move to the upside there. But those are just a couple ideas if you were looking at it. And you could just Google, thank you, Jam, for all those, as you did tag me. So I did see that. So thank you for that, for sure. Just one little quick update there. We did get some more out of, look, the futures aren't doing anything. Like I really wish that, of course, because I'm short, we get the big FU candle to the top right there. But, can we not get some love down there? So we did cover a little bit at 19.9 again. The futures are at 20,000. They're waiting for some big, huge reports tonight. And the reports are exactly that, man. They are monstrous tonight. This is the biggest day by far. I'm glad to be having Sharif with me and Adara on the After Hours show, the market recap show. In just 20 minutes, you're about to have your world to get flipped upside down because you have Amazon, Apple, Roku, Reddit, Maple Bear, Airbnb, Twilio, Duolingo, Amgen, right? Stellar Lumens, no, Lumen right there. MSTR, ladies and gentlemen, is in the building. Formerly Block, formerly Square, I guess now still. XYZ, right there for Block. US Steel, letter X. sell it to Elon at some point there. But now, of course, Elon's such a genius the way that you can orchestrate all these financial deals. Now he sells Twitter. Like, so what he paid for it, he sells it back to XAI. So like crazy stuff there. The number one earnings report of the day, Big Bear AI coming out. If you get a plus in front of that EPS, okay. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but, whatever. I may go to that helicopter dealership if that does come through. And then I'm done with this traffic. I'm going to borrow Raheem's. Riot, also another blockchain name, but I had, eyes on Amazon, Apple, Reddit, and Roku. I think those are the big ones there. So we put those first. And then, I don't know anything.
Reddit's
Instacart, I don't know, is huge in Canada, but, we'll see what happens there. I don't know. We've seen DoorDash and whatnot have some good ones. Uber with Uber Eats and so on and so forth. So, is what it is. All right.
Yeah, I think when you're looking over a bunch of those earnings names, when there's that many, you're going to want to be able to parse out how it's moving, which ones are going, which ones have the biggest relative volume. And eSignal is the kind of platform that allows you to do this. And the best part about it is the first month's free. And we keep saying this because who knows how long they're going to have that promotion on. 1 month free, so you can have access to every indicator imaginable, to every back testing, forward testing. You're able to do tick replay on there. You're able to hook up to multiple brokers so you can execute trades right on the platform. We're going to show you guys the imbalances in 10 minutes. That's going to be there as well, so you can trade the last 10 minutes with confidence, know that you're not blind with the index imbalances. It's intuitive. It's very user-friendly, and it's reliable data, and you can find it first month free, all in one. Don't miss out. Take your game to another level and scan that QR code you see in front of you. Free is a great cost, and if you don't like it, hey, you don't like it. But give it a shot and see how it works out for you. I think it's a fantastic platform. While all this was happening, just to clean some stuff up for you, one, SLQT finally got above the volume-weighted average price into that it's 274 is the halt reopen high, and then 280 right in here is the prior low. So that we got into. I got out of two names. One, good, because good. It can't break 70. I told you it couldn't break 70 on WW, so it broke out the local high. That's just a trailing stop when it broke through 72. Unlikely to trade that one again. However, Kohl's came out, did not maintain the breakout. So we got in when it consolidated and was giving it to the prior high. The second it broke it, I'm out. I don't know if I want to buy into VWAP here, but that's a fail breakout on Kohl's. I don't think you want to give up on it. It's day one on the news, and it really hasn't done that much. But when there's only 20 minutes left in the day, I'm not going to sit here and try to go long into VWAP or anything. There's not enough time to make it work. So SLQT, that's one that I guess that news was they're defending in the DOJ drug case, a couple of other companies in there. Just a bit of a dead cat bounce, and I'm giving it into that 280 level. So if it breaks the prior support from the daily, which is also this halt level, I'm out, looking for it to pull back underneath the volume-weighted average price. So DOAM saying Apple 6% tomorrow, book it. The market would really like that. There's a lot of dark pool wicks on Apple today.
Apple 6% seems like a lot.
What's the expected again?
That's something that I have to look up and check this out. That's what I was going to say. It's probably
4.5 is my guess.
A little bit, 4. Yeah, exactly. 4.4.
Yeah, 6 seems seems a little heavy.
That does seem a lot there. The biggest expectation, what? Can't be right. MSTR, its previous move was only 3%, and its implied move is 3% again. Not sure if that's right. Amazon is right. There it says it's right, but I don't know. It seems
very light.
Yeah, okay. It seems low, but Duolingo is 15% right now. Okay.
We love Duolingo.
What's up with gochujang chicken? I didn't get any of that today. All these vultures over here. Probably Sharif took it all. No, he didn't. No, I was just saying, did you get any of that chicken today? How was it? Oh, he's got it. We're not. So Sharif's looking to take some home and just hoping that it's still there when he leaves, basically. And a story right there. But yeah, no, that looked pretty good. So I was just going to say finally right here, and I'm just I'm not getting overly excited, but we're getting pretty excited because here come the futures. Let's go. Finally, this little drop down. We've been talking about this. Thank you I just answered a couple DMs on Twitter. So thank you so much for some of you, including Nimit and a bunch of, I don't know if you guys want me dropping your names in the chat or anything like that, but shout out to everybody there who's been messaging me. And yeah, good thoughts there for sure. I'm always looking at trying to find an edge with trading the NASDAQ because there's so much money to be made trading the NQs. And I am willing to put like everything on the line all the time. So like, that's just my style. So I need to find some more edges. Like, I think we did really well today here on this. So yeah, so far so good here this afternoon shorting, but like, I just trying to look for a couple different indicators and a couple ideas of like when to know when the right time to push and just to ram everything right in there. Okay, so we'll give back. This is my only Tesla trade today. So let's just talk about what we have on board right now. If I get out right now, we will have given back about 10% of the net that we made on the day in Tesla. So if we're up $20, we'll be losing $2 if we get out now. Just an example. That's how I'm going to talk. So we'll get, because I don't remember how many shares we have left, but if we drop out right now where we're trying to, and actually as I see this, I canceled my stop because we were way up. So I got to go 282.99, and I want this thing to crank lower, honestly. Like, I'm in the futures, and that is a much, much bigger position for me right now, obviously, as we've talked about this, than Tesla. So I've only traded today four names. Palantir, the hooded one, and the futures. So Robinhood, again, like, that's a test trade. We were actually out of it, right? This is my best trade on Robinhood, the test trade. And then we tried to buy 49s. That didn't work. Then we did find a bottom there at 47, 100%. But again, this is my problem, and my problem only, too many shares. So once it breaks, I punch out. And it broke, and the punch out was about 50 cents too early. But again, like, I know the default that I'm using, and I'm not going to hold this 50 cents against me because then I'm down too much on a play that clearly is not right. But it does go back up, and I got to give credit. He's not here right now. I guess he's going for a walk or whatever. But Joe did hold a nice trade in Robinhood back up to 49. That's the trade that I should have had and did not. So shout out to my guy Joe for nailing that Robinhood trade right there back up to 49. So that was a great job. And I was all over it, man. I was all over that trade, but unfortunately, just with the share sizes and all that. So that's what I'm trying to do. Really sort of put the day on the line when I think that there's something there. And I did on Robinhood, and I did put it on the line, but it got squashed a little bit there, and we don't wind up losing that much. Not losing that much as far as I'm concerned, but again, net and what people make or lose on individual trades is their own thing. Everybody has different risk tolerances. So for me, holding that 50 cents more would have been way too dramatic of a hit, so we got out. But congratulations to Joe, who did wind up holding that. And then when I came back, he was like, well, Robinhood's back down to lows. I was like, what? I really thought that Robinhood was going to work today. So, that makes sense to me. There's always options and always stuff that drops down in, especially when you get to key levels like $50. But yeah, right to the downside and now still at lows. This is a name, Neil, that I'm buying. I am buying this on dips. No, it has to go to $40.
Okay.
I want to buy it right down into here. I'm not waiting for the ultimate lows like we were trying to wait for before. If we can get something into here, I think they've proved their concept does work by gathering more daily users, more accounts being opened up, and they have unique ideas, right? Like we talked about that gold membership, which gives you different advantages. I don't even know them off the top of my head, but that kind of stuff is important, right? It's not like that gold card that Trump's giving away. I don't think you pay $5 million, you can just become an instant citizen or something. That's probably not right, but I do remember.
No, that's literally what he said. That's bait new. You buy.
You could just become a citizen?
No, but they already had. So there was a thing you could spend. It was like $100,000 of investment. He's moving it up. And calling it the gold.
I thought it was.
I thought he moved it higher. The amount.
Than $5 million?
No, I thought he moved it from a few $100,000 to something higher.
I thought it was $5 million when he announced it. I don't even think that's a horrible idea, but it's just a matter of.
You know what I was gonna say about that Robinhood? Robinhood got, when it started going off that 47, it got 47 to 49 almost as fast as Mark was able to get rid of that row of computers that was behind us. Which, by the way, I tell you right now,
Back up to $1.
It took a while, and that was absolutely insane how quickly he was able to do it. But the market was bouncing really quickly, and I want to tell everybody, and I know Sean already alluded to this, but Studio 8 is in effect, baby. That's what it's getting called. The new renovations that we have, so we appreciate it. This is
What's it getting called?
Trust me, it's Studio 8. That's the name.
I don't even know that reference.
Apparently, that's it. That's what we're calling it, and it's not just a change.
Okay.
It's a metamorphosis. Because this place is completely changing.
Who's told you all of that? Is that metamorphosis something you came up with?
I ain't come up with that nonsense. You think I'm that verbose?
Metamorphosis?
No, the big boss calling it metamorphosis. Why? Because it's not just going to look different. The whole feel of the show is going to be, we've alluded to this.
Yes,
It's going to change the feel of the show, how it's presented to you, and all, trust me, all in a better way. Everything's going to be more cohesive. We're able to communicate with each other a lot more effective. Trust me, it's just going to be fantastic. So that's what you're going to see it in the back. I'll probably sneeze a bit more because my allergies are acting up when they're moving all this stuff around, but it's going to be absolutely exciting. 30 seconds to imbalances. Two
What,
things.
already?
One,
oh my God, I got to get out.
I'm out of intel because it did a bit of a bottoming tail candle in front of 20. So it couldn't break the 20 level. It closed at 2010. When it got back above 2010, I got out. Yesterday's close, I mean. And then SLQT, we jumped into that one. First out in front of VWAP. I'm bidding 50s, 40s, and then I'll be bidding into this halt price, which is $2.30. And I'm going to tighten my stop up because it's already $3.50. Wow, that came really quickly. It bounces out literally in 2 seconds. I got to move my stop. But TLT is the biggest imbalance at 2 million. Okay, so the imbalances are pretty much nothing. Nvidia's 1.3 million, that is not very big. So 1.3 million buy at Nvidia, 1.2 million buy on Intel. Tesla, you see Tesla?
Yeah, man, Tesla's a buy, and
Where is it? Oh, there it is. 700,000 on Tesla as well. So the biggest is, oddly enough, TLT, which we've never observed it move on those imbalances.
money just bleeding out of Brendan right there for the Nvidia or for the Tesla trade. So there it goes, man. Another $1.50, man. We're in the building. It's
another one.
And it's a floss off right there. And we go to the downside on the TQQs as well. So, oh, hell yeah, man. We get to the downside as this plane comes crashing through. You're going to see what happens right now. There we go. We come out with our hands in our pocket and pretty happy here with this TQQ trade. As we get to the downside, let's go. A smooth little 70-cent win right now on the future. So here we go. It's finally starting to pay off all our hard work. Right now, no, just playing around. We didn't do any work. We've just been holding on to this one. But again, man, reward yourself with good trades. And then as Joe said, celebrate the good trades because we're all trying to hit milestones here. Traders are trying to graduate. Traders are trying to make money. And that's what I'm trying to do with these kind of plays. So nice move there on the TQQ. We are going to throw to Adara, I thought, after the... Okay, we're not going to Adara at all, but I am going over to the desk to get the setup ready.
We got big earnings.
For the close. Yeah, we do. But I'm coming back. I'll just be one second.
Yeah, no, we've got some big earnings coming through, everybody. So obviously, you know the lineup that we've got going on. It's going to be rapid fire. Like, remember, I think we're expecting Amazon exactly at 4 o'clock. And then from there, Apple's always a little bit later. Conference calls are going to be at 5. That'll be after for sure. Reddit's going to be a big one as well. So you want to make sure you stay tuned for that. Ooh, Robin's losing a bit. Look, NVIDIA. Oh, goodness, NVIDIA. I'm only in the one trade. Did I tighten that stop? I did not. We just move the stop to break even, which I said I would do and didn't do. Now, if we break 70, I'm out. It's not really break even. It's 5 cents. But I'm in SLQT. That's the only trade I'm going to be in going into the end. And Rev Boost, 100%. Sean, Sharif, Adara will 100% be covering Apple. I believe they're 415 or 4. You said 420, so I'll believe you there. They're a little bit later, but it will get covered. If earnings drop on a big name, aftermarket, pre-market, of course we're going to cover it. Trader TV Live is not about going over something an hour or like 2 hours after it happens. You'll get to see live where Apple is going, where the buyers and sellers are. Heck, I wish I could tell you that I paid more attention to Robinhood and waiting for that 47 level myself, because that's where it went to. And we saw it in the aftermarket. Where'd that come from? That's a great look. So this used to be all like an entire row, just like the one you see, and all of a sudden it's gone. And there's my the bald cam going on there. Fabian must have just did this. It's completely wild. And then Obi's little station there in the corner, he used to be right behind us, but it's all going. Like that, it's all of it is going to go eventually. It's going to be a long process. Believe me, I can't even get into describing everything that's going to happen. The bridge, the algo room, pretty much everything is going to change. That's a great look. We got to do more of that. And then he comes back up on stage. This is obviously live. What up? How's it going, Fabian? Appreciate it. No, that's what it's all about, man. And look, we're pretty excited about it. And it's all to give you guys a better experience. Right? At the end of the day, like this show is for the viewers and our trading community. So that's what we're all about. Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. Why not talk a little bit about Trade the Pool, our good friends? Because at the end of the day, we trade on a trade floor and we understand the saying, big opportunity comes with big risk. Why does that have to be true? Trade the Pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They're going to give you access to company capital, up to $200,000 to trade real stocks, no CFDs, and your downside risk is limited to a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. That means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing your loss is capped. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited time during the evaluation, so you get the freedom to trade your way with no time pressure. Visit tradethepool.com and see how far your $47 can take you. Scan the QR code you see out in front of you.
And I'll blame you guys.
Take your shot with Trade the Pool.
All right, yeah, what's up? Oh, but we're slapping the market right now, like left and right and center right here. There it goes to the downside. It is now a dollar winner again on some big boys. So here we go. It's a nice move down for the TQQ, man. The CEO of the Dollar Club is here right now. And it's a nice move to the downside. We just took $2 or $3 on Tesla, got out of that one. And here it comes, falling back down right into these lows. This is the move that we were waiting for. But it's... like we were getting out heading into 350, right? And so every time we came into VWAP, we were taking some out there at 340 and all of that. So we don't have, like, if this had happened at 330, we would have the full load on. But this is the move that we were waiting for, right back into here. So finally, man, patience does wind up paying out right there one more time again. And this is what I'm talking about using bigger share sizes, is like if I'm going to only make a couple plays, it's nice to see them working out. And before it's like, it's great. And as I told you, where he talked about this, was basically, it was like, yo, dude, just start using more shares. So I'm starting using more shares. We're going to figure it out. Hopefully we don't get stopped out like some of those positions we did earlier. I mean, we had that short there on Palantir and got stopped out right here. Like, look where we got stopped out on Palantir, 1920. If you have 10 shares, 30 shares, 50 shares, whatever, it's fine, right? You lost a coffee, but if you have position, it sucks because then boom. But you know what? Like, if you don't get stopped out there, then you enjoy this kind of a move down. These are the kind of plays that I'm looking for moving forward from here till eternity. So, like, this is the kind of trading that we're doing, but I'm doing, but at the end of the day, look at Palantir just fall out. So you can have the right idea, but trading's all about timing and share size. That's like, there it goes. So it's a wrong trade because I got stopped out. I lost money there, and humble enough to say that was a failed trade. But looking back at it, I have confidence because this doesn't happen all of the time. It's just happening sometime. Like right there. Like, what the hell's up with that? That stop and then immediately right back up. Like, at some points those aren't going to happen. That's not going to happen. And this is going to happen earlier, right? It's happening right now for us on the TQQs to the point where now $1.20 in the money right now on this trade as it continues to go lower. So you're going to have many, many examples like that. Let's take Robinhood, for example. Boom. Like, so some days it's going to work without getting stopped out and some days you'll get stopped out. This is the life of a trader. This is literally why most traders fail. You got to stick with it, stick with your plan, share size accordingly. Don't run out of capital. Don't do anything like that. Be responsible with all of your trades. Look, we exited Tesla. Now look where it goes. Boom goes the dynamite to the downside. So Tesla, the #1 stock, Tesla, today, and it was just off of that. So be patient. Do what you got to do, man. Well, actually, the TQs would be the #1, but I got to still cover this. So I got to get over to the desk, man, and I don't even really want to cover it right now. But with crazy earnings ahead, let's get this cover in. We'll pat ourselves on the shoulder there. Look, I mean, this is a great trade, although way too many outs. Obviously, I understand that, but it was a good one. Tesla downside, we're out of it. It's a very profitable. It's not very profitable, but it's a profitable stock to the point where it can be where it needs to be for me today. And then there goes the market now down. A big fail there for the market into the close. So I don't know if this is a bellwether for Amazon or not, but we only have a minute and a half. So I'm going to get over there. What is Amazon
doing? It could be a risk off because of the reaction to great earnings was not good last night. Well, overnight. So maybe it's a little bit of a risk off. We only have 1 minute to go. Sure. If anybody...
what's the difference?
Did I get the bid? That's okay, no, I just got the bid. The Z car just halted to the downside. That's not the page I wanted to be on. This should, assuming it's a volatility halt for anyone that's in this, open in 1 minute. Time doesn't matter. 5 minutes, I know it halted like 2.5, it just halted like 2 seconds ago, like a minute ago. But reopen on a volatility halt is not 5 or 10 minutes. It should be at 4 o'clock. So down halt on Z-Car. The only trade we were still in, we just punched out of VWAP SLQT. Like it didn't want to go any further. So it goes 65 to 54. That's all we're going to be able to get out of it. Wow, Intel really lost a bid. So that just got through 20. They're in a world of trouble. A lot of names just punched through that low as we're selling off heavily there. Look at the flush that just happened in a lot of these names as they go. NVIDIA also flying with less than 20 seconds to go. They are bleeding it down going into, first off, Amazon earnings. It'll be Amazon, it'll be Apple will be Reddit, you got MicroStrategy, Big Bear AI, you've got Block. It's a wealth of earnings. And we have 5 seconds to go till the bell, brought to you by VinFast. In 2 and 1, let's go, Adara. And right away, believe me, Amazon right now just closed at $189. I see, actually 190 almost even. It might have been that last final print there. Still up 3%, but crazy, crazy sell-off going into the end of the day there. It wasn't on imbalance or anything. It was going into massive earnings. Want to give a big shout out to Fabian and Ramin, but that was a great shot that we had. Big shout out to Mark, Fabian, all the work that's being done around here, and it's going to be even more to make the show look and sound better. Of course, big shout out to the midday boys as well, kicking butt there. And you know what? You get to see a little bit more of Sharif because joining Sean on the desk for the market recap, in addition to our special guest tonight, is going to be Sharif, Adara, Sean. It's the market recap show. Amazon is moving, but it doesn't seem like it's out yet. You got a bit of a dollar bounce there off of that close without the numbers out. So it's starting to go, it's revving up, and the excitement is here because Trader TV Live will make sure that you are locked and loaded live for all of these earnings plays. There goes Amazon breaking out the highs. Let's get to the desk. Your market recap is starting now.
It does look like Amazon is now out right now. So Amazon goes up and down, and right now Amazon 189. So why don't we get this? It looks like it's starting to go lower, but it's back and forth right now. So Sharif, give us the goods.
All right, net sales, Sean, 9% year-over-year increase, $155.7 billion in the first quarter compared to with 143. What were we looking for here, Sean? We were looking for 154. So that is a beat on the top line. How about their international sales? 5% year-over-year increase. Operating income, $18.4 billion. North America taking the cake there, Sean, $5 billion. Net income total, $17.1 billion. That's what they took home in profits. Operating cash flow continues to increase 15% year over year. They're holding about $114 billion there. Free cash flow as well decreased, sadly, $25.9 billion for the trailing 12 months. What are they doing? They're selling off aggressively. We are now negative on Amazon after being positive the majority of the day. We wicked up into 193, but that was the algo spike, and now all hell is breaking loose on the downside. We're losing 183, $10 lower than where we started at the top there. 193 was the high. A bit of a miss there. I'm keeping my eye on the guide because it was a beat on the top line in terms of sales. I still haven't seen anything with respect to EPS, though. I am looking on my other screen to see if I can find what the EPS is. Not yet, guys. So here it is. In case you're wondering what the results are, we'll zoom that in for you. Net sales, 9% year-over-year increase. Sean, $155.7 billion. That excludes a $1.4 billion impact from year-over-year changes in Forex. So they have about a $1.5 billion Forex headwind. That's quite ugly. Keeping an eye on MSTR. That's the other one, Sean, we're waiting for at 4 o'clock. That one I don't see out yet, but it is down flat now, MSTR that is. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Here we go. More stuff here for Amazon. Let's see if we can find the EPS. Oh, here we go. Now this is the guide. Q2 sales of $159 billion to $164 billion, easily beating the estimate, Sean, $160.91 billion. Why the hell are we selling off? I don't know. The guide was better. The report was better. From what I can see so far, we still don't have eyes on the EPS. How are we doing here price action? Why, Sean, we're dropping, man.
Yeah, I know. I have it up right now. It's 181.20. I mean, I have a live level 2 right here for Amazon. So we can see right here, a 182 by 182.40 right now. We're going to have this up like that. And every time a stock reports, we're going to call it up for you immediately. So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. We are getting this going. I'm just had a little bit of a problem with the chat there. So, okay,
we have EPS, Sean.
Okay, we've got Benzinga. I mean, there's so many names reporting right now. Airbnb is out as well. So ABNB, let's have a quick little look at that right now as we go. So there's Airbnb downside there. Let's get rid of that. So Airbnb is also making the moves lower. Amgen is now out. AMGN. That looks like it's going upside a little bit. Lumen Technologies is up. LUMN is now out as well. So LUMN as that. LUMN, not too many N's right there. Nice upside move, but it's really Amazon is what we're worried about.
MSTR is
and
out.
That's a downside move as well. Here goes MSTR.
Down.
The one that I didn't believe was only a 3% mover, but there goes MSTR. It's now making that move lower into 377. So there goes strategy. Let's see if that strategy works out. Remember, up here is Amazon. You're going to be able to see 181.50 by 181.20 right now. We wait for the big dog. Where's Apple at? Come on, Tim Cook. You know that stock can get cooking.
Come on, Timmy.
MSTR, DXCM is also out. Airbnb is now out. Airbnb's 24 cents versus 23. So they are a beat rate over there, despite Neil using Verbo here. But Airbnb, a nice move. Revenues $2.27 billion versus $2.26. So Airbnb beats, but there must be something up at the guide because that's actually going lower here, Sharif.
Absolutely, and so is strategy, Sean. Moving down negative now, and crypto was strong all day. Guys, I'll submit to you, Riot was up 7%. Here is the report. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Here is Strategy's financial report. 13.7% BTC yield, Sean, on the year. They've got 61,907 BTC gain, $5.8 billion in BTC gain achieved in 2025. They have 553,555 Bitcoin, Sean. It's kind of light there.
Kind of light.
We'll keep an eye out on that. Looking for the actual EPS and the revenue. Give me 1 second. Over there, we got it. Now we got it. So it was a miss. So adjusted EPS for MicroStrategies, negative 1653. Negative. That's why it's in brackets.
Reddit.
1653. The street was looking for negative 11, Sean, on sales of $111 million. That misses the 115 that was looking for. So it's a miss on the top and bottom line for strategy, Sean.
All right, Reddit right now is out, man. So we're going to Reddit and forget it. But we are going to read the results and get those for you immediately once they're out. Right now on the Benzinga Pro platform, what I'm seeing is this right now. So I'm reading off of here. Sharif's sort of scouring TweetDeck and Twitter and some other news sources as well. But I just see right now that Reddit is out. As soon as we see those numbers, we will give them to you. But there goes Reddit right now. 132 and change. A nice move up 14%. Ridiculous. There goes Reddit. So do not forget it. There goes Reddit up to 133.50 right now. Good bottom coming in at $100, man. I think that this gap right there held. What a good sort of omen that was when you come all the way back in and hold that level, gap higher. Now we're making that new move up to 133 for Reddit. Here's Amazon, just in case you're wondering. It's 181.40 there for Amazon. We talked about those numbers. We'll do that again in a minute. But Amazon, downside right now, trying to hold out. This is the big one that we're all a little nervous about. And then strategy, Sharif just went over the numbers. Actually not doing much. So I guess Adara nailed that one there because, it's not her, but the implied move, 3%, seems to be right. I thought there would be more movement on that one for sure.
Sean, let's give him the Reddit details.
Yeah, let's go. Duolingo up as well.
Duo, oh, my favorite there, Sean. Daily active users for Reddit, Sean, 31% year-over-year increase. They've got 108 million daily active users.
Go,
Sean,
bang.
revenue,
I like that one.
392.4 million. What were we expecting there from Reddit? Let's have a look at what Adara said. 373. We ended printing 392, so a beat on the top line, Sean. Net income, $226.2 million. That's an increase of 6.7. Good look there. Diluted shares of 13 pennies a share. That's what they earned in EPS. The street was looking for 2 pennies, so a beat on the top and bottom line, Sean. It's going to come down to the guide.
So how's your Mandarin going?
It's actually quite good.
All right, because Duolingo right now, upside right there. So when Sharif talks about something, people go out and buy this program. There goes Duolingo right now. EPS beat, 72 cents versus 51. You're live with us right now. So there it goes. It's a nice move there with sales of 230 versus 222. It's Duolingo.
Get it, Katina,
and
man.
speak the fine language of stock trading, because Duolingo right now getting that move right back up into all-time highs. So congratulations if you believed in that program. I know a few of us are using that around here. Is Ramin still using it? That's really the question. All right, here goes Instacart. As she laughs, I assume that's a no. There goes Instacart as well. Maple Bear. There it goes, man. A nice little move up there for Instacart. So, man, these are coming in. And guess what? It's R to the O to the K to the U.
No.
We are now out with Roku.
Okay.
I told you, there's no other place that's going to do this.
None.
They're dropping right now. Dun, 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 dun. Trump's all about Roku. What did he say about Roku? No, here it is, Roku. The numbers are out. It looks like it's a little up and down here. We're just getting excited at the end of the day.
Yeah.
These are the earnings. We report them. We have a good time here on the show. But it looks like Roku coming in pretty flat, I guess. I mean, I see a gap minus 19 cents versus minus 26. So that's not great on the EPS. Sales with a slight beat. So they beat everywhere, but still not making money is Roku, which is kind of crazy. Like, this seems like a very, very old company at this point. I was expecting to make a little bit of money, but Roku right now underneath, not doing too much. So we'll pass. I mean, we could talk about if there's anything interesting, but seems like maybe a little bit of a pass there. Twilio again, big data, talking about communications and everything like that, transfer of said data. Twilio, nice move to the upside as well, 98 up to 102. Amazon trying to get going. You can see the live level 2 up there of 183, so AMZN. Look, we wait for Apple, man. I have the chat up here. There it is, man. Thank you so much. The energy, says JSO, is elite status.
I love it. I like
so that's it, man. Yeah, no, but I mean, this is the thing. And we talked about changing the show up, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to get more and more of this as we grow, man. We want to grow as a business and as a show for you guys as well. So there we go, man. It's a nice move up there for Amazon. Move down for Amazon, but a nice move up off that bottom of 180. I wanted to buy that at 180. What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about Airbnb, Sean. Great report here. If we can go to the screen, Q1 EPS 24 pennies, beating that 23 penny estimate. Revenue, Sean, beating on the top and bottom line, but not by that much. 2.27 billion. The street wanted 2.26. So there you go. Airbnb looking real good right now. Let's see what the chart's doing, Sean. We are down on Airbnb though. We're down 1.8%. So it's going to come down to the guide. We'll keep an eye on that. Oh, this is what
When Moon, Apple. When Moon, come out.
I know.
We wait for Apple right now. Everyone asking us about Apple. I just switched over to the top side right there. Yeah, look at that handsome gentleman. Not me, the guy at the bottom. Sharif was just telling everybody to like and to subscribe ASAP. So there's Apple. I have it up here if you want to watch it. That's the ask right there. It just comes over better, I think, on TV if you watch that. 212.29 right now. We do have Apple up right here. XY. Are we going Z or Z? Either way, it is going one way.
It's tanking,
bang,
baby.
it is going down, and it is a fail on that one. XYZ getting XY cleaned right now to the downside. I don't know what's going on with this name. Do you have the numbers? Because Block not doing well. Is there anything happening? I always think that Block and PayPal is somewhat similar, and there goes PayPal to the downside. So a little bit of a move down there for XYZ. Shreve, why is this happening?
Because they missed on the top and bottom line, Sean. Adjusted earnings of 56 pennies, the street wanted 87, so that's a huge miss there. Sean, the sales, the revenue, 5.77 billion. The street was looking for 6.2, so it's an easy miss there. Forget about the guide. This was a miss on the current quarter. My goodness, and that's not a soft miss either. You got to wonder why. What the hell's going on? I mean, crypto's moving up. Well, what do they got over there? I mean, they got what's it called? That Square Pay thing. My brother-in-law swears up and down by this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's going on.
Shopify. So the problem, I think, is competition. Shopify has a very, very similar product product as well. So yeah, right now, Big Bear AI.
Oh no.
No, it's not out yet, I don't think.
Okay.
We're just getting excited, but there it is. We'll wait for Big Bear AI. So we'll wait
See
for
Reddit?
Yeah.
Reddit, and forget it, it's up 20%,
Oh, there it goes.
Sean.
There it goes. Reddit really going upside right now. Reddit right here. Okay, the reason why we get a better guide. So
There
right there,
it is.
there goes Reddit. We want to thank all 8,000 of you, by the way, for joining us one more time right now. So thank you so much for being here with us, man.
Bang.
We can't do any of this without you, but make sure you come back. I mean, tomorrow there won't be too many years, but make sure you do come back tomorrow anyways for all of this. But you know what's going on with Reddit right here? They guided forward. So they see sales between 410 million to 430 versus 395. So not only do we get a better number, top and bottom line, but we also get Reddit right here on the guide forward. So we like that. We like that a lot. Thank you, T, and everybody else in the chat right here as we continue to go upside. We do have some, I mean, we're not going to talk about too many indexes here today, but MSOS, we did see gold. Again, the GDX, the gold miners downside again right now, but gold down today, another 1.9%. We had Michael Noss on the show on Monday talking about a pullback here in gold. I've been talking about this for a little bit as well. So there we go, nice little move down for gold, breaking through the $300 mark, going to the downside. Me and Sharif are just looking, man. We're looking for that Apple number. When are we going to come out for Apple?
Nice.
The time that we had written down
4:30.
It's 4:30.
Good with that.
And I can't be here too much later past that, but we'll stay as long as we possibly can. We're not going anywhere until that Apple number drops. So we're going to wait for that one.
Let's tell them about how Reddit did on the quarter. You let them know about that amazing guide. If I can show them what they actually did on the quarter, Sean. EPS, 13 pennies. The street wanted 2. That's an easy beat there, guys. $392 million in revenue on the quarter. The street was looking for 370. So an easy beat there. In case you were wondering what's going on, recall that Reddit now selling their conversations, their user data almost, or all the forums and the subreddits that exist on that platform for AI training models. So you're gonna have your chats, your Google Geminis, your Perplexities, your Claudes, all wanting to get a hold of this data so they can train their models on that, Sean.
Right.
So they've been doing that quite successfully, and the report reflects that.
All right, I'm going to say thanks all in the chat, TK.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You guys are really helping us out here. All right, let's go over to Amazon right now and have a quick little look, guys. If you guys see any movement in anything, the Benzinga's not really working too much in my ear right here. So we're just going to have to play by what we see, and you guys might see the action earlier. But I do have Apple up here, 212.65. So again, the Amazon. You know, we had sort of gone over this. Let's go over it again. They got 159 versus 136. That's a beat, right? They have sales of 155.7 versus 155. So it's a beat on the top and the bottom line for Amazon. But we've seen this happen before, and nothing's happened to the stock. This time, stock goes downside. And the reason why, potentially, they do guide a little bit. Part of their guide is lower, so they were expected to get 161 or so billion. They guide 159 to 164. So the high side of the guide works, but you know the worry part is if they miss. So if they're going to put out a miss next quarter on the guide,
and it's the cloud, Sean.
then that's what it is. And you had mentioned the cloud there with AWS as well. So there's a lot of competition there with Amazon and cloud. I mean, we saw, there goes Amazon though, right back up. Ooh. Look, there's that magical 180 level, man. We talked about sitting there and trying to get some bids. I don't think I'm still there, but that was it. Oh no, people telling me Big Bear AI. Look, the last earnings report was disastrous. Let's see what winds up happening now to Big Bear AI. Okay, so it is a little bit of a downside move. I don't have the numbers yet.
I'm looking.
For Big Bear AI, but when we do get it, we will get it. Yeah, that's okay. So we don't see the numbers yet, but it is going down. Look,
Here it is, Sean. I got it.
This is not a heavily traded name, but let's go find out what Big Bear AI is doing. It just broke $3.
Here it is, Sean. Q1 revenue, 34.8 million. What were we expecting? Let's have a look at what Adair put for us. We were expecting 35.9 million, so a miss there.
Yeah.
That's Q1. During the first quarter, they reduced their long-term debt by 58 million. That's fine.
What was their EPS?
They affirm their 2025 outlook, so they don't change that. So no currency headwinds, no tariff headwinds. They also raised gross proceeds of 64.7 million from the exercise of 2024 warrants. So keep an eye out on that. Not much more other than that, Sean. Okay. Scouring here, revenue increased 5%. Where is they issued a net loss? A net loss in the first quarter of $62 million compared to a net loss, but they shorted up. They lost $127.8 late last year. They basically cut that more in half.
Good.
So a good look there, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be great short term here, but again, I was looking for that EPS because they were down 6 cents. It was minus 6 cents expected. So we'll get that here. But Reddit shares are trading higher after better Q1 report, right? So Reddit higher, Amazon lower. Those are the two big names so far. And then XYZ, I mean, I'm still a shareholder. I believe in this name anyway. It's pretty, not as much as before, but look how disastrous this looks there. I mean, it looks okay on a daily because we battled back. Oh, that's right. We switched symbols, and since then it was 90 all the way down now to $50 on formerly Square. Block right now, new symbol change, XYZ, downside, that's where we're ticking right now. But we're still waiting for Apple. So when we get Apple, then we'll be able to see. Any thoughts early on Apple here?
No, but I want to tell them quickly here about Amazon Web Services, Sean. I think this is why we dropped initially. Right. So it was a bit of a miss there. So the sales came in for AWS, obviously their biggest moneymaker, $29.3 billion. A very, very slight miss from the 29.4 that the street was looking for. But I'll submit to you, when Azure comes out yesterday and easily beats by 2 percentage points, and Google shows weakness in its cloud, then kind of who's king, you know, of the jungle so far in cloud world? It's now Azure. They're the ones that are growing. Sean, they're guiding 33 to 35% for the next quarter. Now you have Google Cloud that's missed. Excuse me, AWS missed, and Azure coming in ahead of expectations. That's kind of eye-opening there.
Right, so we'll have to look out for some more cloud names and see where we go. But I mean, these are the big dogs, right? We want to be these hyperscalers. So again, I mean, as long as we could check out an NVIDIA to see if there's any shrapnel getting through on that one as well. Let me just quickly check that because I want to go back to Instacart. So NVIDIA is actually ticking a little bit higher here. Well, actually, right back to where it was on close. So we're getting a little bit of a movement now. We'll wait for Apple. Apple shouldn't affect this at all. Instacart, listen to this headline from Benzinga.
Let's hear it.
Maple Bear shares are trading higher. The company reported a worse than expected Q1. All right, so trading higher on a worse than expected Q1. That makes sense. 37-cent miss versus 38. Sales 897, miss versus 898. But they're guiding a little bit forward. So it's a good little look there for Instacart. Maple Bear, nice move higher on a back-to-back miss. So this just goes to show you, it doesn't really matter what you've done. We're looking forward right now in this market. So we'll watch out for Dash maybe. Let's have a quick little look to see what they're doing. So no movement here on that report either. Apple still not out. 212.79 live quote right now for Apple. You'll see it here first. Amazon is clawing its way back. Look, we love the name. I don't think there's anything disastrous in this report at all. No. The only thing disastrous right now is options. Options right now, you're flat on this move. The implied move was over 6%. So, you know, we kind of gave our bull and bear case earlier. Shout out to Nikhil and everybody else as well. But let's go over to Adara right now, and then we'll hopefully be back and await the big dog, Apple.
Hey. Sharif, you mentioned AWS earnings. So here is, this infographic is from the last Amazon report. But basically here is the AWS revenue for the year, starting here in 2013, all the way to 2023. I have to update this for 2024. But what's interesting here, if you did not realize, Andy Jassy, who is the current CEO of Amazon, was formerly the CEO of AWS. So here you can see the nice trajectory for this company's revenue alongside some of their highlights and some of their launches within that. So take a look at this on X at TTV Research. We have a host of infographics and fun market facts for you every single day to keep you updated. Back to you.
Look at this guy over here, Stevenson ATN. Oh, look at this guy.
I like him.
This was the guy that tried, yeah, me too. This is the guy that tried trade the pool 6 or 7 times. Shout out to you, Stevenson. And you know what? This is the thing. He bought himself a Lincoln with the money I made last month. Is that one of those little dinky cars, or you actually bought a, you know what I'm saying? A big car. I'm just playing around with you. Congratulations, Stevenson. We wouldn't be doing that if we knew we didn't have fun with you. So thank you so much to Stevenson right there. Oh, the Lincoln, the penny. Oh, I get it. That's funny. Thank you to Fabian. Well, that was Fabian. I'm sure Stevenson actually does mean an actual car. But hey, it's not often that you're able to buy a car as soon as you kind of go live. No. So maybe you're taking too much risk, my guy, over there. But congratulations at the end of the day. Big Bear AI, not a congratulations at all, as that's now down through $3. So we're going to have to, this is a long-term play, man. We call this baby Palantir for a reason. So we'll wait to see that. It might not be. It might be the evil stepson of Palantir, and it's being punished right now. So there it goes down to the downside. So bye-bye, Big Bear AI. We're just getting our average price in and around that $4 mark. We talked about that over and over again.
X
so
reported too, Sean.
Right now. now. Yeah, United States Steel, right?
Got
So
that here, yep.
there's X. No, not much of a movement. What do the numbers look like?
So we missed here, Sean, 39 pennies. Actually, excuse me,
Okay.
they lost 39 pennies, but the street was expecting a loss of 45 on sales of 3.73 billion, which beat the expectations of 3.63. So not a bad look. We'll have to keep an eye on what the guide is, because Sean, we're down 2 3/4 here in the aftermarket after closing out about $44 or so, give or take. So a bit of a tougher look here for U.S. Steel. Obviously, been spoken about a lot lately. A possible acquisition target being blocked by both the Biden and the Trump administration for national security purposes. So it looks like you can tell they want to do something with the company, Sean, but their hands are kind of tied.
Yeah, Big Bear AI, just a quick note there. Their guide was between 160 and 180, and the expected was 170. It's like these analysts, like they're at 170, and Big Bear just comes out and goes, okay, well, we're going to go between 160 and 180. Hence 170. But I don't know. This is just, I don't even know why some of these companies guide, but there's Big Bear AI and what they're looking at. Let's go back and quickly look at Amazon, as it's a big one there. Amazon on the daily, we talked about this 180 level. I like this level for some support, but we could get a little bit lower if. But today, there's no if, because it already bounced off 180. So the report is now out. We wait for the conference call. Maybe there's going to be some talk there about what's going on. But you could see Apple right there, 213. And again, it's a cloud story, right? We had Azure. Maybe Apple's falling a little. Microsoft could potentially be falling. Maybe there was something there. You know, we shorted the, wow, what a short we had on the TQQs, by the way, at the end of the day.
That was a great short.
Yeah, so there we had this whole move, baby, right to the end of the day.
Oh, boy.
I had to cover before I came up here, which that looks like a big mistake because it kept on going further. But there's the move there, and then we get some bigger names reporting to the downside, right? We had that Amazon move there to the downside. So, okay, I'm not really seeing anything else as far as earnings are concerned. We can go check back on Roku. We know that's a relatively heavy name, day trading wise, down to $64. What that looks like on the daily, I don't think we even looked at that. Roku right now still underneath the 200 period. And as Brian Shannon would say, and again, what a great book, it's your anchor VWAP right there. You're in the penalty box until you get above something here, and that's going to have to be the 200 period moving average. So we'll wait for Roku. Yeah, man, when Apple, says people in the chat, yeah, we have it written down as 4:30, so they won't disappoint. They'll be there around 4:30. We're staying live until that does come through. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Just quickly on the day today, man, we had XLE, we had some energy, we had the Raider trader come on and say, let's leave this alone maybe till later on in the summer. He's not so interested in energy, talking about cyclicality. I don't know. I mean, I just think that you got to always look for advantages. As Jim Cramer says, there's always a bull market somewhere. It just might not be here right now in XLE. So we're looking for a break of $83, $84 on XLE to get going a little bit. Tesla had, look, I'm really interested in Tesla at these levels, but the thing about it is, Sharif, as you know as well, you can see right here, we're dropping off through that 295 area. It has to break above 300. Exactly. We've been here, we've been here, we've been here. So Tesla needs to get going. Robo-taxis or not, man. I mean, this name needs to have some sort of tailwinds behind it right now. I didn't like that story about possibly looking for a new CEO.
No.
Do you think Elon ever hands his baby over?
You know what, man? You know what they were saying? They were saying word on the street was they were not approached formally by the board, but board members were informally asking these headhunting companies that find execs to see who would be interested, but they wanted to keep super quiet. Obviously, Sean, this is unconfirmed, being denied by the chairman of the company, being denied yesterday by Elon Musk on X. Obviously, it's his baby. I don't think he wants that floating
around.
I was say. But you have to actually consider it. Like, let's talk real now.
Stock then?
Because you even heard Joe turn on Elon Musk because he was focusing so much on Doge. He wasn't focusing on his company. That hurt shareholders, and a lot of people weren't happy about it.
Joe Rogan turned on him? Is that what you said?
No, our friend Joe.
Joe.
Joe Wilson. Yeah, no, Joe.
Yeah,
Rogan.
we know that he got out of that a while ago.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So, and again, you know, if you have conviction in something, I just know that he was on Joe Rogan. I didn't know if that, if he had gone back. I didn't think so. No, for me, man, I would hate to be those board members right now, because when Elon finds out exactly who's looking around for these headhunters, man, if you see some people go away from Tesla for a while, I wouldn't be surprised right there if that does come through. I think it would be a huge negative for the company if that were to ever come through. But a lot of these founders, they step away. It's like we saw Bezos step away, but he's still there, right?
Of course.
You know, Jaffrey's, you know, all these guys, they get replaced by members that have been around for a while.
I agree.
They're not just handing the keys over to me or to you. They're handing these over to seasoned veterans. Like we saw with
handpicked too.
We saw with Intel, right? I mean, going right
Lip
Lip
Boo,
yeah, Lip Boo coming in there to the upside there. Intel and Lip Bhutan have some work to do, but that's a good example of, again, handing over the keys to someone that's comfortable driving the car. Adara, what you got for us?
What I have here, just to remind you, ahead of Apple earnings, here are all the expected moves for all of the major earnings names today. And I remember Sean said, Adara, are you still going to do these this week with how busy it is? And of course I will, guys. You'll have these every single day. We have big earnings, so you guys can see these expected moves. Duolingo, weirdly the largest expected move, but let's get to our 4:30 p.m. friends, shall we? Apple, we're expecting a 4.4% expected move. Then Riot, another crypto name after MSTR reported. Riot, we have an 8.1% expected move. Furthermore, on the Tesla-related situation, I'm also seeing that a lot of these high-profile Tesla shareholders within the X sub-community, which is pretty massive, they're also saying that they actually don't have their proxy shareholder vote available yet, and Tesla has not yet scheduled their shareholder meeting, which some people are viewing as a little bit curious or suspicious. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But even though Tesla's board denied the claims, the fact they haven't scheduled the shareholder meeting yet is being interpreted as a little bit interesting. If you want to check out this infographic and tons more like it, go to X at TTV Research. We're going to send you back to the guys ahead of Apple earnings.
It is big. Thank you, Derek. Big Bear AI. Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. It just broke back above $3. And I think there's a lot of hype there in the chat as we get going. GoDaddy, you're going to open up some websites anytime soon? Actually, not doing anything. GoDaddy, I just want to show everybody EPS beats 151 sales in line for GDDY. Ooh, not bad at all. Oh, you know what? We had Steve Tyleman on. He's going to come on tomorrow, I believe. He's not going to come on today. He's going to come on tomorrow. He liked eBay out with earnings yesterday. Pretty flat rate there on eBay. So, yeah, man, everybody's like yelling at me about Big Bear. I just showed Big Bear AI, my guy. All right, Apple right now getting a little bit spicy.
It is.
As we get ready for the report, let's just do a little bit of a preamble here with Apple. What we're looking for right now is for the 4:30 release. So we are minutes away. Thank you, everybody, for staying late with us. Man, you are all still here, so we appreciate that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Tell your friends, your mother, your dog, everything to watch us right now. Hey, you can grab an account no matter where you are. EPS 161 is what we're looking for. That's the estimate on Apple, with a light revenue number, Sharif, of just $93 billion.
Oh, that's it?
For the quarter.
Crazy.
Country's GDPs right there in one quarter. The implied move 4%. So we're excited there for Apple. If Apple moves 4% on 200, we should get $8 or so. Let's wait to see what winds up happening there with Apple. If Apple is low tomorrow, down. The market will be down. We had Chris on this morning talking about the relationship between Apple and the S&P 500.
I can't see a good guide. I just can't see a good guide. Either they withhold or the guide's going to be bad. There's no circumstances under which there's looming tariffs at a percentage where you have no idea what the hell the percentage of the tariff's going to be. It's such a wild card. How could they guide higher? I just don't see it in the cards. But hey, maybe they can surprise us, Sean. They've surprised me before. I just want to cover quickly, Sean, all the earnings plays that we've got. Everything that you see from here onwards is basically the earnings plays. So MSTR up 1.25. That reported. Amazon down 0.84 currently. It reported kind of a mixed report there. Duolingo up an eye-watering 16.33%. Great report for them. Airbnb mixed report over here, down 2% in the aftermarket. Lumen up 1.13. It reported well. Amgen also down 2% here in the aftermarket. Cart, Instacart, look at that, 12.33%, Sean. Fantastic look here. XYZ, which is Block, huge down move. A miss on the top and bottom line, 16.5%. What a miss there.
All right, we have Apple. We have Apple right now. Apple's out. EPS beat 165 versus 163. Sales 95.36. That's low. That's a beat. A slight beat. 95.36 versus 94.53. But some of the numbers are a little different than we had written down. Apple looks pretty in line to me right now. But Apple's going lower. 209 and change. Down with Apple, but I don't want to scare anybody because where Apple's coming from, like if we go down to 200, you're just kind of back to last week. Let's see what it does at 200 if it does hold it. But right now, the early look on Apple, from what I'm seeing, is an EPS of 165, beating the street of 163. Estimates on sales, actual sales, 95.36, beating 94.53. Apple looks like a clean beat, top and bottom, but the market not loving it. Maybe they wanted a little bit more. We'll wait to see if we find out anything about the guide. It's 4:30. We'll stay late with you just for a couple more minutes to see what exactly is going on. Apple, this kind of a reaction, muted, to be honest with you. That sucks when that happens. Doesn't mean it'll be muted tomorrow. The call often will give us direction. But right now, Amazon does pull back a little bit, 183. What is Apple doing? It's now trying to bounce back a little bit. Are you seeing any color to this report at all?
I'm seeing $100 billion again of share buyback.
They like that,
in addition to the 150 that they already on there, Sean. I'm not seeing the
an additional 100.
Yes, because they already had 150 on the books. They're adding
250 billion dollar buyback.
Unless they've already exhausted that 150, right?
But still, like that is more than the market cap of many, many companies that are out there alone, and they're putting that back in the stock. The thing about buybacks, we like buybacks, there's no doubt about that, but when you're buying back that much of your shares, it means you don't know what else to do with your capital.
There you go.
And right now, maybe they should be investing in what? Maybe Siri, maybe AI, maybe we should be improving that a little bit. But we like it as shareholders. It's a nice little take there. I'm interested to hear, has the big man bought back in? I don't know if Warren's back in this name or not. We'll wait. We're not going to hear that today or not. But that's something that I'm interested in. Who is buying this? You know, what are some of the big rating agencies going to say about this? What's our boy Danny Ives going to say? What are some of the big tech sort of mavens going to come out with this number tomorrow and see about Apple? Because right now, it's small dividend raise as well that I'm seeing.
I see that.
But no one holds Apple for dividend. It's less than 1%. So right now, nice downside move right now for Apple. Continuing going lower right now. The continuous flow down for Apple now, 208.62. This is what it looks like here. It's not really too crazy. The action's not that violent right now in Apple, but it's 209 right now and change. But a downside push for Apple.
Yep.
And if we just go even to like a 15-minute chart, this is what I'm trying to show you. It's not that dramatic, man. We're just sort of back to where we've been. We were here yesterday. We were here the day before. So let's wait to see if Apple, I'm
really surprised we haven't got anything on the guidance. It's making me wonder whether they are actually going to withhold guidance. Obviously, guys, the call starts at 5:30. If you're investing or swinging trade on Apple, kind of incumbent upon you to listen so that you know what the fundamentals of the companies are or the company is. I'm definitely going to be listening, Sean, as I get the sesh in at the gym.
Nice.
But to be quite frank with you, Sean, I'm still looking here on my blotter. I've got both blotters up, Benzinga and my platform. Nothing coming in about the guide right now. A little concerning to me, so maybe they're withholding. Maybe they're going to wait till the call. I'm unsure right now, but Apple down here in the aftermarket, 1.22%, trying to get above 210. It might be a hard road.
I had Reddit up here. Reddit, the big winner, the big winner of the day. Reddit up 21% as some of these newer IPOs. Reddit's had a huge move, right? I mean, it's not like it's well depressed, but that's a nice move higher. I think you can go in and buy Reddit right now off of these numbers. I mean, you know, it was up here for a reason. You know, when you're a relatively new company, obviously your PE and all that's going to get blown out. But I do like Reddit at these levels. Apple, okay, question for you, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
You buying dips?
Not here. You know, I added
I'm not.
in
I was going to say this is the one name for me that I'm not that excited. I have Apple already, but I can see possible headwinds, right? I mean, we do know that there's a switch to Huawei,
100%.
China, if it can't get sorted out with Donald Trump here, or just the administration, I guess. But I mean, Donald's the one pulling all the levers here. But if China remains an issue, China may not get resolved 6 months. Like, who knows when this is? Apple will lose market share in a very, very important market for them, China. So I would say you're dead right there. Good luck with your session today at the gym. We are very, very excited to hear what Apple has to say in their report. Okay, so what kind, I know you don't eat pizza. Okay, but I do this with Adair all the time. So this is a pizza. Give me 2 toppings.
Pepperoni, and just for my man over there, I have to do it. Pineapple.
Boom! That's what we're talking about. We like that. That's a great combo right there. Add some jalapenos on there, spice up your life. That's Sharif, man. I'm always pleased to be on the show with this guy. The energy is for real. We want to thank Adara for all those graphics and everything that she's doing as well. We're all back tomorrow, except for me, of course, at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to be blessed with Obi tomorrow morning. I'll be at a rink near you, so join us there. But Obi and Neil takes you in. Adara, Sharif, Brendo, all of our team is back. Thank you. you, everybody. Thank you, Bears versus Bulls, man. We can't do it without you.
Absolutely.
And especially all of the viewers.
Absolutely.
Let's go, Apple. Congratulations to everyone on Reddit. Let's see if Amazon holds that 180. Until Monday for me, ciao.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.